between 33 and 38. Left lane until 3:30. Southington 84 East between 30 and 31. Repair work on the right lane also until 3:30. We've got the road work on the westbound side as well from 40 to 37 in the West Hartford Farmington area. Down in Meriden, 691 West. Crews roving between exits 1C and 8A. That's left lane repair work until about 4. And down in Cromwell on 91 South between 21 and 15. That's a roving project until 3:30 in the right lane. Let's check in with Jason Caterina. He has the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
For the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, mild but cooler overall with the high at 53. Now tonight, we'll get a couple of rain or snow showers overnight with the low dipping back to 37. Lots of clouds on our Thursday. It will be a bit cooler with the high dropping back to 47. On Thursday night, partly cloudy, chilly again with the low down to 36. We start a warming trend as we make our way toward the weekend. Starting Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high moving up to 57. Mostly cloudy and a bit milder on Saturday with the high up to 59. Cloudy, windy, and warm on Sunday, the high moving up to 63 to round out the weekend. Now, Sunday night, going to need to keep a watchful weather eye open. Periods of rain, some of it heavy, a thunderstorm as well. Could lead to some flash flooding, the low down to 49. Cloudy, breezy Monday, the high of 56. Sunny Tuesday, the high of 50. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, the market's crawling back into the black. The Dow is up 41. The Nasdaq's ahead 236, and the S&P is up 41 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life can be unpredictable at times, but you shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of someone else's negligence. If you've been in an accident or work-related injury and it's not your fault, you need a lawyer who knows how to get you the fair and just compensation. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of personal injury lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Bruce Newman is responsible for the content of this ad.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Welcome to the new era of
1 minute.
Woods of Farmington. We're thrilled to announce that our transformative renovations are now complete, and we've truly taken it to the next level for our residents. Discover our stunning new spaces and indulge in 5-star amenities that redefine comfort and care. This is not the same Amber Woods you knew. Call us today at 860-677-1671 or visit amberwoodsof.com to schedule a tour and witness the remarkable changes at Amber Woods. We can't wait to welcome you.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell's Hartford area attorneys. Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, middle of the week. It is Wednesday. On News Talk 1080 WTIC, Reese on the Radio. I thought about my opening today because it sort of had to do with something I was mentioning yesterday with Representative Rosa DeLauro. And she said something in that interview with Dana Bash on CNN that has always been a problem that I've had with the way in which our society is moving. And it's I'm very old school, and I know it's just the way that I was raised. So I don't want to get anyone to thinking that, oh, Reese, because you were raised that way, everybody else should. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. I believe it, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to simply say your humble host really misses the old days. And I don't really say this on a personal level. I'm talking about an overall. Were there bad things? Of course there were. But there are some things that I tell you that I miss about how we used to be as a society. See, I grew up homeless. When I was 15 in 1986, I was homeless for 3 years. I had no home, no mom, no dad, no brothers and sisters, even though I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. But I lived on the street. When I got lucky, I got a couch here and there to surf on. But I had no home. I had no real money. I was packing groceries at a supermarket until they were kind enough to give me a job off the books at below minimum wage. You didn't know that, did you? They paid me off the books so they could pay me below minimum wage. And I took it. I didn't care. Most people would say, well, Reese, man, they robbed you. No, they didn't. I had no reasonable skills. Of course, I could have gone out and got working papers or whatever the case may be. I did not. But they offered me an opportunity to work at the supermarket. And I did. I worked the produce section and I stocked the shelves. I would offload the trucks. Legally, they should never have done that. But I did it. In fact, in the beginning, I volunteered before they gave me an off-the-books job. And the guys who worked there would take money out of their pocket and pay me for it. That's what I did. Yeah, Brandon, you're so smart, Brandon. Said, you also paid no taxes. Damn right. Brandon, I love this audience. But I did it. And I loved it. In fact, I loved being useful as a kid. And that money, sure enough, I mean, although not a lot, it paid for a lot of things. It kept me afloat. It did teach me hard work. And the people who worked there, they were old school too. We had a guy named Tim. I'll never forget him. He smoked Cool Filter King cigarettes. Back in the days, you could still smoke inside the supermarket. Yes, it was unhealthy. But you could smoke in the supermarket. And I would be with him stocking shelves in the vegetable aisle, the canned vegetable aisle, and he would light them up right there. And he would talk to me, and he would tell me things about growing up. I loved Tim for that. He was an old black man. He looked like a backup singer for Gladys Knight. It's a little hefty, but he was funny, and he wore glasses, and he had a southern drawl. But he would talk to me about the way he grew up. And I was awestruck by the way he grew up. There was a degree of telling about how hard it was for him, but something about it seemed romantic. In a way that your pop would tell you a story. That even though it was tough, they never made it sound like they needed mental health care afterwards. You know what I mean? They talked about the trials and tribulations they went to as badges of honor. Things that described why they were made of sterner stuff. They would compare their scars. Old men would do. Yeah, I got this one when I was fighting in Nam. You know, just all of that stuff. And I loved it. my greatest teachers were guys inside the VFW. I'll never forget when I got a job as a busboy at the VFW. All you did was just walk around and collect everybody's beers and bring them back to either, I don't know if it was to be recycled or just put them in, the glass containers. But that's how I was there. And inside you, sure enough, as a young man, it'd be some old guy from a foreign war scooping you up. Hey, boy, let me tell you something. And they would tell me something. They always had advice to give somebody like me. And I was thirsty for it. I told you very early when I was on this program that when I was 15, I was dying to be 55. I'm 55 now. And I think about that. I keep saying to myself, boy, if I knew then what I know today about being 55, I kind of feel like I did. But imagine knowing all of that then. That's why I soaked it in. I kind of wanted to know what they were doing and how they were navigating through life so that I could navigate through it better. Remember, these guys had proven something to me. They lived. I didn't know what I was doing. Went behind the ears. I was never enthralled by anything new, cool, hip. I didn't care what the future brought. I wasn't interested because I was heavily invested in the past that got me here. Now, I know that there's no denying the future. The future is coming. But I got to be honest with you, folks. Have you seen anything good? Look at the kids today. Are you seeing an overwhelming sign of them doing all right? Are you seeing the future of our world looking as good as our past was, no matter how tumultuous it was? If you ask these kids today about any of the relations that we had in the past, the things that we went through, you would think that these, or in fact, you would hear from these kids that it's far worse for them in the future than it was for us and before us. Those folks had nothing. Those folks did not have technological advances at all. They could not communicate with a person across the country on their phones and on a digital device. They had to make long-distance phone calls and keep them limited. Hey, I can only talk to you for 2 minutes. It costs $1.35 a minute to have this conversation. They didn't have to write letters and have stamps in the house and then mail them and then wait for the letter to arrive. Now, doop, 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 sent instantly. And look at them compared to us. Ask yourself, what would you rather be, them or you? I'm going to be straight up here. I have to be straight up here. I can't stand young people. I just can't. I can't take them. And I knew it was going to happen when I was a kid. I knew it because I knew that the next generation, as they grew, as new generations come by, they were going to be more petulant, more disrespectful, and far worse, more ungrateful. And that's what they are. They don't even realize what they have because everything is DEFCON 1. And for those of you who think that the numbers go up and they're more calamitous, no, it's down. DEFCON 5 is peace. DEFCON 1 that's horror show. It's DEFCON 1 for them. I got a young person who came into my office today. And his mom, her name is Hannah. And she's a nice woman, beautiful, kind woman. And when I say beautiful, I'm not talking about looks. I'm just saying her demeanor. I met her for the first time. She came to the U-Haul to pick up a trailer. And she took the trailer, did her business, came back a couple of days later. And she asked me something that I haven't heard a parent ask in a lot of years. And that was, do you happen to know a place where my son could, possibly apply for a job? She's asking a business owner that. And that was something that I knew moms to do when I was growing up. And this woman's clearly, she's probably about 20 years younger than me, maybe even more. But to hear her ask that, I was taken back to my childhood. And I was like, wow, she's instilling that in her child. Maybe we're not all lost. And I said, you know what? Absolutely. In fact, I really didn't have anything to go on when she asked. But the fact that she asked, I immediately became compelled to help her. And sure enough, the next time she came back, I said, you know what? You come back tomorrow. I promise you I'll have something. And I did. And I got her in touch with, I got him in touch. His name is Austin, by the way. I got him in touch with U-Haul. I told him to go online, put in an application. I'll talk to the area field manager. I'll tell the area field manager to tell the manager to look out for his application. In essence, we were going to use nepotism if we could to get this kid a job. Kid I never met. I was going to get that kid in the front door. Why? Because his mom had done something I hadn't seen in ages. I had to do it. Sure enough, congratulations to Austin. He got a preliminary hire at U-Haul. Young kid, 17 years old. He was eager. And his mom was trying to get him, talk, communicate, blah, 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 trying to teach him the things that we know that the kids aren't learning anymore. His mom and I got into a discussion. She's on the left, I'm on the right. It was crazy. We didn't agree politically, and we even had a little bit of a conversation about that. But do you know what was the beauty of that conversation when we started getting to politics? We realized that, she was like, oh, please don't tell me that you're a black Republican. I was like, yeah, I am. And she didn't freak out. She didn't pull her hair out. She didn't walk away from me. She was like, no, you can't help my son. And she was actually interested in my conversation. I was interested in hers. And she was like, well, what's your radio show? And I was like, I don't know if I want you to do that. I don't know. And so I was like, no, I really want to know now. And so she's listening now. I told her I was going to give her a shout out. But when I look at that conversation that I had with Hannah, that conversation that I had with her son, Austin, that to me codifies exactly what I'm talking about. We don't need a generation where the kids don't look at a person eye to eye and they send their resumes through emails. Or they talk to people on a screen, never shaking their hand, breathing the same air, feeling a vibe. We need to go back to the old school. So when I saw this video of Rep. Delora, I had to say something about it because it bothered me a little bit. If you missed it yesterday, this is, Representative Rosa DeLauro talking to CNN's Dana Bash. Let me see if I can find this audio here. Talking about the future. The representative is 82 years old. If anything, Rep. DeLauro should be teaching the young, not the other way around. She has more to offer them than they have to offer her. They're young. They've got nothing. They've got no life experience. She is the valuable person here. Even if I don't agree with her politically, she is a person outside of her politics. Rep. DeLauro is older than me. I would never dismiss her just because she's a liberal. I would talk to her about what it was like as a little girl growing up in her hometown, what it was like when she got her first summer job. 82 years old? There's value. It's priceless value. This is what she said about changing with the times.
You change, your environment changes. You know that, there's old school, and now you have to move. You can either move with the times or you can be left behind. My choice is to move with the times.
And my choice is that's a bad choice. It's a bad choice. I used to get people who tell me all the time, Reese, you got to accept change. And I said, no, you're right. I do have to accept change. But not all change is good. And they go, what are you talking about? Change is good. I said, I don't think you know the definition of that word. Well, what do you mean? Your mom dies tomorrow. That change good? Child gets a incurable disease and dies suddenly. That change good? You lose your job. Can't pay the mortgage. You elect the wrong president whose entire campaign was on hope and change. Not all change is good. Please understand the definition of that word. Do not use it flippantly. Change is subjective. And it can be good and it can be bad. So just because these kids are doing things differently don't mean that they're good for you. Want an example? The aforementioned Representative Rosa DeLauro. Accommodating change.
Yo, this is the Ranking Rizzler on Appropriations, serving Connecticut's 3rd District. It's time to enter your dark academia Congress era. All right, besties. House Appropriation is the money moves in Congress. We are not chasing the bag. We are the bag. Democrats are making life smoother through government funding. It's giving, it's giving. So Sigma, main character energy. But Republicans' Project 2025 is mad sus. Eliminating the Department of Education? Negative aura points. Basically, the biggest phantom tax on the environment, on your education, and your rights. Big L posting it online, buddy. Democrats understood the assignment, but go off. See how I keep you informed? Very cutesy, very demure.
Now, Rep. DeLauro, if you're effective, you don't need to change for anybody. You see, when the product is good, the product sells. If the product keeps changing, it means it has no effect. You're 82 years old. Aside from the fact that I think that that's embarrassing that anybody would put you up to that. And I understand it when you have people in your ear telling you, Representative, this would be really, really cool. The kids would love it. You obviously don't know what the kids need. The kids don't need you sounding like them. The kids don't need you to meet them where they are. You have to have a convincing message. They have to resonate. And again, usually when I get people on my side, when I get people to listen to me, I never change. I know the message is resonating because I have the evidence of that. I've got more people who have switched their party lines, who have at least become more conservative because I've always stayed the same. Because I've given them empirical evidence to work from or to use. But when you have to start coloring your hair and saying words like skibbity, it means that who you are and what you represent has never worked. You're 82. And that's not a slight on you. I don't mean to rip on you. I'm just saying. Change isn't always good. We'll take your phone calls when we get back. It's Reese on the Radio. It's News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A dog that attacked a volunteer at a no-kill shelter in North Haven this month has been euthanized. Animal Haven says in a social media post that Sarge was unrehabilitatable. This after the dog turned on the volunteer March 5th. The victim sustained level 5 bites to the face, one a level short of death, according to the shelter. Man's under arrest, charged in the stabbing of his domestic partner in Waterbury. Julio Arad Figueroa attacked Yomaria Vargas Martinez in the couple's Lounsbury Street apartment in front of their daughter on Tuesday, say police. He's charged with murder and being held on bond. A pair of Trumbull police officers were injured on the job when they responded to a domestic violence incident Tuesday night. They say a 19-year-old was involved in an altercation with his girlfriend on Wilson Avenue. One officer was hit in the face, another knocked to the ground. Both officers sustained minor injuries. That suspect is under arrest facing multiple charges. President Trump openly challenging U.S. allies by increasing tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports to 25%, as he vows to take back wealth he says was stolen by other countries. Man who escaped the custody of New Haven police while in handcuffs has been recaptured. State police assisted in capturing the prisoner who escaped from the Whaley Avenue lockup. No word on how the suspect was able to slip away. And a government lawyer is asking a federal judge to move the legal fight over the detention of Mahmoud Khalil to either New Jersey or Louisiana. That request made today during a hearing in New York City for one of the central figures in those protests at Columbia University, protesting the Hamas-Israel war last year. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Here's Jason Caterina with the forecast.
For the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. Mild, but a cooler day overall, the high at 53. Now tonight, we'll get a couple of rain or snow showers, chilly with the low down to 37. Lots of clouds for us as we make our way into Thursday. It'll be cooler, the high of 47. Partly cloudy for Thursday night, the low down to 36. Then milder as we make our way toward the weekend. Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looks like the clouds have taken over. It's 51 in Hartford. Wall Street making some modest gains this afternoon. The Dow up 21. The NASDAQ is up 227. And the S&P is up 36 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY Days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. Power Torque professional hand tools have a lifetime guarantee, available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil has been doing Awaken 180 weight loss for about a month. Last week, we checked in with Phil, who's on vacation in Florida, and he's down more than 20 pounds. After a month, it's looking like 30 pounds of fat gone. Phil, how are you managing to resist all of the vacation foods around and stick to Awaken 180 weight loss?
We went grocery shopping. We got the things off of the menu from the program. Tom, I guess I'm just so excited about the weight loss. I don't want to cheat. I'm doing the shakes. I'm doing the drinks, the chili, the sloppy joes. It's working, and I'm not craving anything.
And that's really the magic of Awaken 180 weight loss. Now, seeing the numbers in the scale come down, that's great. But how else can you tell that you're a much skinnier Phil?
Funny part is, Tom, coming in and out of the swimming pool, my bathing trunks are like falling off me. I have to kind of make sure I'm not carrying anything. I've got to hold my bathing suit up because it's starting to slide off. It's kind of crazy. I feel great. I'm really pumped.
Feeling pumped and losing weight begins by calling 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Looking for the perfect place to unwind after a busy day? Avon Old Farms Hotel and the Simsbury Inn have dining options to match your every mood. At Twiggs Lounge at the Simsbury Inn, good times are always on the menu. Join us for happy hour Monday through Thursday. From 4 till 6, we feature live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. If brunch is more your vibe, join us on Sundays for our award-winning brunch at Evergreens Restaurant. Each week, 11 a.m. till 1:30. Twiggs Lounge and Evergreens Restaurant, nestled in the heart of Simsbury at the Simsbury Inn. If you're looking for a dining experience that celebrates the flavors of the season, come to the Seasons Restaurant at Avon Old Farms Hotel. Every dish is crafted with fresh, local ingredients, inspired by the best of every season. Whether you're enjoying a cozy dinner or celebrating a special occasion, every meal is unforgettable. Join us Wednesdays for live music, Thursdays for trivia, or on Sundays for brunch. It's all at Seasons Restaurant at Avon Old Farms Hotel.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-431-2715. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-431-2715. 800-431-2715. 800-431-2715.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our
1 minute
for a single line, just $45.
My bad, 20 seconds.
Which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on unlimited welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
I want to thank Aaron B. for sending me that Monty Python for Yorkshire men sketch. Absolutely, very relatable to that. I should post that on my Facebook page as well. And look, I know that it is. I know there are some people who want to get so distant from the past and are excited about the future. I mean, I'll admit, when I was a kid, we were under the impression that things were going to be whatever we thought we saw on television and in the movies. But I was never that guy. I did not, I wasn't excited about Star Trek. I know a lot of my Trekkie friends who are. Rama's going to give me some crap on this one. I was really, my friends were really excited about Star Trek because that was the closest we got in the 60s to where we are today, with the exception of, beaming somebody here to there. But they're working on it. Still scares me. I will never do it. I don't care what they try. I watched the bad side of that, and it was called Jeff Goldblum's The Fly. Never. I'm sorry. I'm just too scared. But I remember my friend, Jamie Montgomery. I talk about him a lot because, again, he was a fabric of my childhood. And he would appreciate this in saying he was a real, Trekkie head. And I remember when cell phones first came out, he said the reason why Star Trek is so important to the culture is because everything Gene Roddenberry wrote actually came to be. We could see each other on our screens. The flip phone, when the flip phone came out, that was Gene Roddenberry. That was Star Trek. It was coming. It was there. We just didn't have the flying cars and all that other stuff. But that we've seen innovations even in that. But I refused. And people said that I was tethered to the old school. I was just afraid of the future. Maybe they were right. I was afraid of the future. But in my heart of hearts, my fear of it was the exploitation of it. And as everything in the world, because I was a big Hollywood movie guy, I love the movies. And I said, what if that stuff gets into the wrong hands? And let's be honest, it hasn't always been in the best hands. It just hasn't. So I look at where we are now. We're happy to have social media, but what effect has it had on children? I love the fact that we can reach out and touch someone in a minute, but what do we do now? We're the least trustworthy with technology. How many people have you called in your life on their cell phone and they don't pick up the phone? Phone's right there. There used to be the big problem was you would call somebody at their home line, on their landline, which, by the way, nobody knows what that is anymore, but you call somebody on their landline, and they wouldn't be home, and you have to leave a message on their answering machine. What about before the answering machine? You had to keep trying them until you finally got them. Now they have a cell phone, and they answer their phone the least. And what happened? They tell you with the cell phone, if you keep it on your hip for too long, you could get cancer. Just think about it. Remember, all of this stuff that they told us we're supposed to be excited about is the stuff that's killing us. It's not just our brain cells, it's killing us mentally. The damage it's doing to children. That we have to actually keep them off the things that are the most advanced. We have to curb their screen time. None of this stuff is good. It's helpful, it's convenient, but again, in the wrong hands, catastrophe. So I don't care what anybody says about the future. I just don't. I understand this in a different way. Not a better way, just different. Let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Ralph, who's in South Carolina. How we doing, buddy?
Reese, first of all, I'm 82 and I have gray hair.
Not blue. Not blue or green.
Not purple or blue, no. And I'm not a mega millionaire who went into Congress with nothing.
That's right. That's
so
right.
I just want to get that straight with this woman. Also, how proud is this woman when 8th graders, 38% can read at grade level. How proud is she of that? And the teachers union.
Yeah.
That must make her feel really good. And look what happened in the state of Connecticut. I'm sure you're aware, the girl that was allowed into UConn.
Yeah.
And she made the honor roll. She's illiterate.
Yeah,
She
graduated.
can't read or write.
Well,
She made the honor roll.
graduated with honors, actually. Yeah, but yes,
Honors.
absolutely. It's again, this is a classic case of people not meeting the moment where the moment is and talking about things about the future. We have no future with kids who aren't learning.
Exactly. But the good thing is she's suing the state, and maybe, just maybe, I hope, my own personal opinion, she gets millions of dollars and they get this education straightened out where if kids aren't learning, you got either bad teachers, which is a very possible, and let's face it, there's always the bad ones, and you got to get rid of them and take care of the good ones. But, you can't let kids in this situation, and then the honor roll.
Yeah, you can't let them wallow. Exactly. Yep, but
who allowed them who allowed her to graduate like that? Really?
I know. I got to go, buddy. I'm thinking. But Ralph is making a very, very good point because, again, as Representative DeLauro is saying, it's like you got to change with the times. But I'm looking at where those kids are today. Where those kids are today is further behind than we've ever been. Why would we be celebrating a future where we have less smart kids, right? We have a lesser educated, I guess, child in our country, yet those are the people we should be following into the future? No. Part of the problem is that we've got to reel that back in and get them back to basics. Because the further we go with them, it can only be worse off for them. This whole, following the future has made things worse for kids. That's just the way I'm seeing it. And again, stop me if I'm saying something wrong. Let's go to Dave in Ellington. Hello, Dave.
I'm 82 years old. I color my hair purple, and I'm worried about the state of Connecticut. First of all, let me tell you something. Lady, you should have retired a long time ago. I'm 61 years old. I don't want to work. As far as kids' education goes, I told my son when he was like 10, 11 years old, I said, dude, you got to figure out what the hell you're going to do with your life. You got to figure it out.
Do you think that, Dave, let me ask you this. Let me interrupt you real quick. You said, how old is the boy? How old is your son?
It's like 10 or 11.
Okay, now, hold on. Now, there's the only reason why I'm pushing back is because I have this question to ask you, and you can explain it however you want. I kind of feel like one of my biggest problems was I was one of the few who knew what they wanted to do when they were 15 years old. But when I was growing up at about 15, 16, there was a lot of kids that I knew really didn't know what they were. Do you see that as a bad thing or a good thing that kids don't know or should know at a younger age? Because I know you're telling him at 10.
No one to tell them.
Right.
If you have no one to tell them what to do at 10 or 11, they're not going to know what to do at 14 or 15 years old.
I got you. Okay. That's what I'm trying to understand. Because I really...
I told my kid at like 11 years old.
Yeah.
I don't care what she says. You make sure you wear 2 of them, okay? All right?
Well, no, I get what you're saying, is that they've got to plan for the future now, because even if they don't figure it out until they're 15, 16, 17, what you're trying to do is put them on the path in the early.
What did I tell him?
Yeah.
You know what I told my son?
What's that?
Go learn a trade. Go learn a trade. Go be a mechanic. Go be a welder. Go to HVAC. Go be an electrician. Go do something.
Yeah.
He went to Wyndham Tech, okay, in South Wyndham. He graduates. Does great. I said to him, I said, so what are you going to do now? Go work for, be an apprentice somewhere? He says, no, I'm going to college. I said, what?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to college.
Okay.
Well, Reese, let me explain something to you. The kid knew more than I did.
That's good.
The kid makes more money now
than you did when you were. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, listen, you know what? That's exactly what I'm talking about, though. I did, because I was trying to understand why you said 10, because I kind of felt like that was early, but it makes sense to me. That was the reason why I asked. I was like, why so early? But you know what?
You
gotta say something.
If you don't talk to your kids, what are they going to do?
You're right. You're right. They'll meander.
God, no.
They'll meander. You're right. Thank you, boss man. I appreciate you. It is a good point. I mean, I kind of look at a 10-year-old and I just go, I don't know if I want to put that kind of pressure on a 10-year-old, but I get it. Like, you at least need to tell them, look, you're not going to be 10 forever. You're not going to be 12 forever. You got to start thinking about your future as you get older, because, most kids around that age, they can't wait till they grow up and get gone. So they have to have a plan of some sort. I just don't believe in putting way too much pressure on them. Maybe that's just me being a parent who hovers. I've got some helicopter dad in me. I just do. I know I need to work on that. I just do. I do it with the boy now. He's 17. He's not even my son. And I still kind of get caught up in the whole, helicopter dad thing. I can't help myself. I can't. It's just because I'm just so concerned. It's like his father's worse. His father doesn't want his son to leave. Try this on for size. His biological father, he lives with him now in Virginia. His father does not believe that any one of his kids should leave the house before 21. And his words, not mine, because they're too stupid to navigate the world before then. And he just doesn't. He doesn't believe that they should leave. They should be at home. I'll take some more. And I love the fact that the lines are lit up. This has clearly got some attention. So we'll get back to you. We'll spend a little time on this just to give you a heads up. We've got some new audio from my good friend Chris Murphy. What his girlfriend has him doing today will be an embarrassment. We'll talk about that. We've got the clip to show it. Plus, I've got this other great video of Doug Collins, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. What he did to a journalist at military.com, everybody needs to do in the Biden administration, the Trump administration, in the Trump administration, and in the future. So stick around for that. We'll be back. Your phone calls are coming up as well. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768A, D1040145, E11856443, S3308699, HIC628926, SM3004646, HOD635, HOD223.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you...
1 minute.
Bill. Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying,
Thank you.
You may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, T-shirts, brochures.
What's up, Bet?
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit Staples.com.
Here we go.
For details. Price match guarantee valid in store on Staples.com/print. Visit Staples.com/price match for details.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Before I go back to the phones, I just want to say that this was an interesting headline on Drudge Report. It says EU retaliates, and it's talking, of course, about the European Union retaliating on tariffs. And it says also in the headline, targets red states. Now, you may have heard me on Monday when I talked about this, about what these administrations are doing across the globe, that they want to put so much pressure on two things, the American news media and on Trump supporters. Now, why would the European Union saying that they're going to retaliate by affecting red states? Why would they do that? To destroy confidence in Donald Trump. Make them sweat it out so that they can tell Donald Trump to do their bidding. See how that works? That's the objective altogether. It's to push Donald Trump against the wall. He's never going to. I'm just telling you, it's never going to happen. I've got some great audio, by the way, that should tell everybody, I think I'm going to follow Donald Trump. Just wait for it. We'll get there. Let's go to John, who's in his car. How are we doing, John?
Hey, good. Listen, you hit it right on the nose. What truth should we have unless we can give these kids an education? I've been an educator for 40 years. I've taught in college, and I'm telling you, it's not the same crop, and I don't care what anybody says. I think that's the most important issue, the next generation, educating them. They can't compete with Chinese, Asians, all the high-tech jobs the Asians take. Come on, we got to get with it. We got to have a better education.
And John, you know what? You know what's a perfect example of what you just said, right? Let's look at China's backdrop when it comes to traditionalism, okay? China, even though they're innovating every day, any day, right? The TikTok app in China, the stuff that their children are allowed to see on the TikTok app versus the stuff that we're allowed to see here was a big bone of contention when TikTok ended up at that hearing in Washington. One of the things that everyone talked about was that in China, those kids are not allowed to look at stupid videos. They are about educating their children and rooting them in Chinese tradition. And because of it...
And lawyers are lining up to defend their clients' TikTok business and stuff. We're going down the sewer. That's all.
Yeah.
And unless we can educate, that should be the primary. Look at your little ones. Look at the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. They're very creative that age. And I had an argument with one elementary prof. She says, "Oh, but we were very creative. You need a base. Science and mathematics is the way to technology, and we're not teaching these kids. Some kids can't even read, like that girl that went to UConn.
Exactly.
Scores are down, and they blame it on the pandemic. It started way back in New King James when he wrote Our Nation at Risk in 1996.
Exactly.
Okay?
That was one of the things that always made me kind of laugh. The only thing that happened during the pandemic with home learning was that parents got a bird's eye view into what they weren't teaching their children and what they were. And the stuff that they were teaching their children had nothing to do with the basics of mathematics, science, any of that stuff. It was all social programming and social engineering. And that's what drove everything out of whack when parents finally got an opportunity to see what was happening inside the classroom.
Well, I wish you would announce that more, because it doesn't matter what politics is ruling today, Chris Murphy, Blumenthal, or Ocasio, or Omar, or a conservative, very conservative side. If we don't educate these kids, you said it, what future do we have?
Exactly.
We don't have a future.
The
nation's going under, and nobody seems to be yelling this is big.
Exactly.
Saying, oh, yeah, great federal workers are being laid off, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested in that.
John, I got to take a hard break, John, but thank you so much for the call. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's get a first check of our traffic and our weather. Jason Catarina's in the Weather Center and Mark Christopher's in BPS Traffic Center. And this time I've got the pictures right.
I got your webpage up right now. So
Okay,
I'm,
all right.
I'm watching that.
Yeah, well,
so,
we're going up right
keep
now.
An eye on that.
This picture's much better.
Is it? Okay, good. I'm afraid what's coming up. Hey, if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, South 91, look for delays by 37 Bloomfield Avenue in Windsor. And again, 35 in Windsor. The 291 interchange down to 32 A and B. Now, if you're on the northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 84 eastbound is a little tight. 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is a little slow coming through the tunnel out to 47 Sigourney. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound slows in Waterbury. 84 westbound slows at the Mixmaster. If you're traveling into New Haven, 95 southbound delays, 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, mild but a cooler day overall, the high of 53. Now tonight we'll get a couple of rain or snow showers, chilly with the low down to 37. Lots of clouds for us as we make our way into Thursday. It'll be cooler, the high of 47. Partly cloudy for Thursday night, the low down to 36. Then milder as we make our way toward the weekend. Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock in afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Police in Waterbury say a woman is under arrest for allegedly holding her stepson captive in their home for decades. They say the now 32-year-old man intentionally set fire to the home in which he lived with Kimberly Sullivan, who's 56. This occurred on February 17th. It was while speaking to first responders that the man told them, quote, "I wanted my freedom." He sustained smoke inhalation and other injuries. The man indicated he'd been held in the home since he was 11 years old. Authorities say the victim had been held captive for over 20 years, enduring abuse, starvation, and neglect. He was emaciated and had not received medical or dental care in that time. Sullivan faces charges of assault, kidnapping, unlawful restraint, cruelty to persons, and reckless endangerment.
That's crazy.
Family gives police
Yeah,
credit
right.
for tracking down a woman who was abducted as a toddler in 1999.
I know that got to be some mental fortitude to be able to keep somebody not getting out the house.
Mexico by her mother, Rosa
20 years.
Tenorio.
Damn.
Tenorio.
It's crazy what can happen right in your neighborhood. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, dude.
It up in 2023. She tracked adult Andrea to the city of Puebla, Mexico, and DNA testing confirmed a match with her father, Carlos, a New Haven school teacher. He's now spoken with his daughter on the phone.
It was a moment of joy, but with the understanding that the process is not over. We have some sense of happiness, but the chapter is not closed yet.
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is arranging for father and daughter to meet for the first time in 25 years. Man's in custody after Waterbury police say he stabbed a woman to death Tuesday in an apparent domestic violence incident. Under arrest is 39-year-old Julio Arad Figueroa.
Michael B. said in the chat room, Roland,
Vargas
he said,
Martinez
it puts the lotion on its skin.
Oh my goodness.
She fled to.
I just said that to Tom earlier because he was talking about there's been transgender for way back in the days. It just wasn't like promoted like it is now.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, the Silence of the Lambs. That should let you know.
Roa is charged with murder and being held on a $3 million bond. A dog that attacked a volunteer at a no-kill shelter in North Haven has been euthanized.
When I think about movies like that, I'm like, okay, who are the people that wrote this? Because they have to be sick as well. Can't like why would you want to write that and be okay with putting it out. I don't know.
Short of death, according to the shelter.
I remember a story
Canada
about
and Europe retaliating,
one
slapping
of
their
Stephen
own
King's
tariffs on
wives
U.S.
divorcing
goods.
him because she
This
fell through a
in
trap door in
return
his
for the
house.
tariffs President Steele.
Peanut butter. Europe's tit-for-tat tariffs will hit
Yeah, I know that dude crazy.
jeans, bourbon, Harley-Davidson motorcycles. EU leaders aiming primarily at industries located in red states. Canada has just announced its own retaliatory tariffs. Even staunch U.S. ally Britain is wavering. Prime Minister Keir Starmer now saying he's keeping all options open.
Correspondent Vicky Barker. Justice Department lawyer seeking to have Mahmoud Khalil's deportation case moved out of New York City, as we hear from CBS's Allison Keyes.
The government is seeking to deport Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia graduate student and green card holder, over his role in pro-Palestinian protest at school. His lawyer says he was arrested for exercising his First Amendment rights.
For speaking up in defense of Palestinians in Gaza and beyond.
But Secretary of State Mark Rubio says,
this is not about free speech. This is about people that don't have a right to be in the United States to begin with.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 82 points. NASDAQ up 212. S&P gained 27 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, this is Dale for North. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. Test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
One of the things that I say all the time is, right, if it is so true, then why not this? And the question of the day is, if the future is so bright, if the young people are so right, why are they so miserable? Studies have been done everywhere, anywhere, that say, statistically, that people who have a more traditional lifestyle, women who are conservative, men who are conservative, and that's not, again, right-leaning Trump supporters, conservative, meaning more likely to be traditional, fiscally responsible, patriotic, love America, celebrate the 4th of July, Thanksgiving. They don't call Christopher Columbus a colonizer. They don't think everything is rooted in racism. People who believe in family values, who believe in marriage. Again, traditionalist. Those people tend to be happier than those on the left. They seem to be, fighting all the time, whatever it may be, structural racism, DEI, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm talking about, that their life is in constant conflict. They're even arguing about dead people saying stuff in articles of magazines that no longer exist. I remember Bill Burr doing that one bit back in the days about how everyone got angry about something John Wayne said in Playboy magazine in 1979. It was like 2000 and something. And people were losing their minds behind it. I'm just like, what? People not understanding Donald Sterling, the former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, having bigoted or racist behavior. The man was 80-something years old during that scandal. And Bill Burr was talking about it. I was like, what are you so flipped out about? It's nothing to be angry about. We'll talk about that. Like I said, if the future's so bright, why are they so angry? Jason Caterina's got your weather, and Mark Christopher, who I know has now got a chance to look at it, He's in a BPS traffic center. So did you see the video yet? And did you?
Not yet. I should be up any second now. I see you have a Reading Rambo.
Reading Rambo. Reading Rambo.
Rambo. Okay,
Yeah.
you see the O there.
It's
Reading Rambo.
LeVar Burton.
My God, there I am. In my tux.
Were you in your tux?
Wow.
And you see I love the shark. That was my favorite thing.
That is fantastic. And there's Jason Caterina, very handsome man with his glasses there.
He
Nice,
looks
suit
nothing
and
like
tie.
he sounds.
No, he looks. He looks like he's got it going on.
Well, he
basically. He looks like he's put together.
Well, he looks a lot younger than his voice. His voice is very, very. I don't want to say older, mature. You know, in that picture, he looks like he's.
Let's say commanding. His voice
Yes,
is
commanding. There you go.
Yeah, very
but he
commanding.
sounds a lot. I mean, he sounds a lot older than he looks, I should say. But he's a good-looking
Well,
guy. Don't get me wrong.
But he could tell you about Mambo Genesis. That's something I can't tell you about. But yeah, that's me in a tux.
No,
Wow.
no offense. I don't know what the heck Mambo Genesis
Yeah,
is.
only he does. Only he does. Those meteorologists, they understand that terminology. Reese, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got delays 34 down to 32 A and B. It's you know what's really cool is it's actually me up there now. I feel a lot better. I was like, I was worried yesterday. I had no idea who that was up there. Northbound 91 moving well. Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little slow in the tunnel. Eastbound 84 some slow traffic. 46 into the tunnel. 291 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury 84 westbound a little tight at the Mixmaster. If you're heading down in toward New Haven, 95 south delays 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC
I finally saw what you guys were talking about. Got a picture of me from my old TV days looking sharp. Thanks. Appreciate it. Listen, as we head through tonight, a couple of rain or snow showers, and you're right. I'm a lot more punk rock than that. Showers of rain or snow tonight, the low down to 37. Lots of clouds for us tomorrow. It'll be a bit cooler, though, the high of 47. Thursday night, chilly, partly cloudy, the low 36. Then mix of clouds and sun on Friday. We'll start a little warming trend there, the high up to 57. Mostly cloudy day Saturday, looking like the high of 59, a little bit warmer for a Sunday. Saturday might be the better of the 2 weekend days. It'll be cloudy, windy, and warm on Sunday, the high of 63. Watch for some periods of rain. Could be some heavy ones Sunday night. A thunderstorm as well could lead to some flash flooding. The low down to 49. Right now, 52 in Danbury, 50 in Waterbury, 51 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
A masterpiece shrouded in mystery, a final work left unfinished, and a performance you won't want to miss. Join the Hartford Symphony Orchestra and Hartford Chorale at the Bushnell, March 14th through the 16th for Mozart's Requiem, a powerful and haunting choral work that has captivated audiences for centuries. Led by guest conductor Jack Anthony Pott, this unforgettable program also features symphonies by Haydn and Martinez. Tickets start as low as $10 for students. Call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Speaking of Chris Murphy, as you might remember, I told you there's this big media presence of Chris Murphy. He's everywhere. And then we find out, that he's got a new girlfriend named Tara McGowan. If you're online, there's a picture of her right there. And the Washington Free Beacon was not kind to her. She's 12 years his junior, Chris Murphy, but she's been, I guess, the person who's behind all of his media hits and stuff, and she's sharing it and posting it. And Chris Murphy has not shut up since the election of Donald Trump, or the inauguration, I should say, of Donald Trump. And I'd just like to show him some respect. Donald Trump, that is, not Chris Murphy. But I wish he would shut up.
You talk too much. Never shut up. I said you talk too much. Oh boy, you never shut up.
In Chris Murphy's honor, here's his latest video.
A young man by the name of Mahmoud Khalil, an immigrant and a legal permanent resident of the United States, is being held right now in prison, even though no criminal charges have been filed against him. Now, I want to tell you why that should matter to every single American.
Tell us, why should it matter to every person in the United States that Mahmoud Khalil is being held by the United States government?
Khalil is a recent graduate of Columbia University. He opposed Israel's military operation in Gaza. He has deep animus toward Israel's policies and the U.S. support for those policies. He helped organize the protests over Gaza at his university last.
Yeah. And if you know anything about those protests, they were screaming for the death of Israel from the river to the sea, and also a destruction to Western civilization. Right, Chris Murphy? Right? Only telling half the story. But see, this is the reason why Chris Murphy needs to be quiet.
You talk too much.
You would think he would learn. But even I caught him talking too much in this video, this short video. He talks too much because in it, he contradicts himself. Listen closely.
Last year. You can disagree with his views or his politics, but there is no evidence he has broken any law. But last weekend, Trump officials entered his apartment and took him into custody. They brought him to a detention facility in New Jersey at first, but when his family went to visit him, he wasn't there. For a while, his family and his lawyer had no idea where he was. They eventually found out that he was being held in a detention facility in Louisiana.
Now, wait a minute. They found out that he was in a detention facility in Louisiana. They didn't know. They thought he was in New Jersey. He wasn't there, and they didn't know where he was, but they eventually found him in a detention facility in Louisiana. Then why would Chris Murphy say this?
And that's where he still is today. In dictatorships, they call this practice being disappeared.
I'm sorry, sir. You know where he is. When something is disappeared, you don't know where it is. Hey, how'd you make that coin disappear? Wow, that Volvo is gone. Holy crap, the Statue of Liberty. David Copperfield made it disappear. But you said he's in Louisiana. That's not being disappeared. That's a location. Disappeared means cannot find. Does he need a dictionary or something? Is he so hopped up on the love juice that he doesn't know what disappeared means? But again, what did I say about Chris Murphy?
You talk too much.
He needs to shut up because he went further.
They eventually found out that he was being held in a detention facility in Louisiana. No charges, no claims of criminal behavior. The White House doesn't claim he did anything criminal. He's in jail because of his political speech. And here's why everybody should care.
Why should we care, Chris?
In America, your political speech is protected.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Whether or not the president likes what you say.
Are you sure? Because if that's the case, I'm still trying to figure out why you said this.
But today, if you're loyal to Donald Trump, your speech is going to be protected, even if it's hate speech.
What? In America, your speech is protected. But now you have a problem with hate speech? I thought my speech was protected.
In America, your political speech is protected.
Oh, that is what you said. I just wanted to make sure.
You talk too much. Never shut up. I said you talk too much. Oh boy, you never shut up.
Shut up. Just shut up. You sound like a colossal moron. To the phones we go. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. How we doing, Wall Street?
Yeah, before I get to my question, Chris Murphy, I guess he's oblivious to the fact that he almost destroyed the Zelensky.
Sure did.
And he thinks Trump has just let bygones be bygones. Pam Bondi and Doge, they're tracking all that money from the Ukraine to wherever it went, to Chris Murphy's 3 mansions, et cetera, et cetera.
Did you hear what USA?
If I were him, I would.
Did you hear about USAID? NBC. Did you hear what NBC's reported about USAID?
Not lately.
No. NBC reported, of all places, MSNBC on Nicole Wallace's show. One of their reporters got a report that inside USAID they were shredding and burning documents. Can you believe that?
People behind that should be indicted on the spot and go from there. Let them start singing once they're in jail. I call mainly Chris Murphy. That's why he was so broke before he became a politician. You can see how smart he was. That's why he was in debt and in bankruptcy court. He's proven it every day, isn't he?
Yeah.
The question I was going to call, that attorney Spinella that was handling the case of that girl in Hartford that you had on as a guest a few months ago.
Yeah, a couple of months back. Yes, I haven't heard from him yet. I don't know if that case. I know what we've heard is that the city of Hartford, or at least the Hartford Board of Education, is stonewalling. They refuse to give up, I guess, the information that they need because I guess they're trying to settle it. They don't want this going to court because I know it's going to open up a can of worms, as do they. So they're trying to find a way to settle.
Well, I called you subsequently maybe a month and a half ago to get his phone number because I had a close friend in Manchester, Connecticut. I told you about the granddaughter being illiterate.
Right.
And I found out lately that the granddaughter, they were in a special group, a special class. And to graduate, they had to take, I guess, a test, an overall test before graduation. And the teacher of this class took the test for the students. That's how illiterate they were before they graduated 2 years ago. The teacher took the test, in their name, didn't get them 100%, but got them passing grades just so they could pass and get their high school diploma. This was 2 years ago. But the thing is, I told her grandmother, I called Spinella's office about 8 weeks ago, introduced myself, said I had someone I knew that was going to get in touch with him, and his paralegal took my name and her name and number. And then the grandmother has called his office 3 times, most recently a week ago, and has not gotten any return calls. So my question is this. It sounds to me like he's only taking victims from Hartford, maybe not Manchester. Would that be true?
Because what he wanted to do was a class action, and he believed that there were enough victims within the Hartford school system to go after. Because in essence, the Hartford school system would be the defendant in that claim. So if it's outside of that, he would start an entirely new case in another school district.
Yeah, there's a lot of victims in Manchester that I'm aware of through, my contact with the grandmother and the classmates. I talked to her myself a month ago, and it's pretty bad in Manchester 2 graduation classes ago. And if Spinella doesn't want to handle that, maybe some other attorney would want to handle Manchester. It's pretty bad. I mean, this is the problem all over the state, with people graduating and the teachers taking the test for them. Then they brag about their graduation rates being so high.
Yeah, exactly. Telling 2 stories at the same time. Nobody can read, but everyone's graduating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly
okay,
right.
Thank you.
You got it, boss man. Let's go to Patty in Naugatuck. Hello, Patty.
Hi, Reese. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I want to go back to the schools.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, great. When my daughter started to go to school, I remember learning that they were starting to take children, and even if they didn't do well in school, they didn't want them to feel the loss of not getting to the next grade, even if they hadn't mastered the grade that they were in. They also took phonics out of the school.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to a teacher and to a principal in the school, which I actually took my children out of, to be honest with you. I said, when a child fails a class or that grade, it is a loss. But it is better to master the material so that you don't fail in life. And actually, the teacher said to me that she 100% agreed with me. And I said, why would you take phonics out of the school? If you teach a child phonics, they can spell a word for the rest of their lives. If you
Right.
take phonics out of it, they can't memorize every single word that they're exposed to in the rest of their life because they never learn to sound out the word. And to be honest with you, they put policies in place, and they continue to put policies in place that lead children to actually, how can they learn? They're indoctrinating now. They're not even concentrating on the cores that actually help children to be successful. If a child can't read by the time they're in third grade, they never are able to read. We need to take these children back, Reese,
Yeah.
and we need to tutor them. We need to have the teachers, even if it's parents that volunteer, and we need to start reading to our children when they're children, 2 years old, 3 years old. In the grocery store, we used to stop at the book counter all the time. Even my daughter was a little tiny child, and she used to pick out a book appropriate to her age, and we used to go home and read the book. You have to introduce it to them, and you have to have respect for education in the home, because if they don't learn that as a child, they don't learn to have that as a value.
One of the things that I learned, Patty, was as far as the education, I've learned it, of course, when I was a lot older. I wish some of these people were around when I was a kid, was that one of the things that I thought was really weird was she talked about how children are approached with a very female-centrist approach in learning and not really paying attention to boys. And they would have the boys read things like Shakespeare and Jane Austen and things like that, and would avoid guys like, I'll tell you, you know what? As you know, I talk about it all the time. I hated reading growing up, but there was only one time in my freshman year of high school, I had a teacher who got me into reading short stories. And he gave me 2 short stories to this day that I still cite as one of the best books I've ever written. They're short stories. One was called All Summer in a Day, and the other one is called The Sound of Thunder. And I read both of those books, and the reason why I loved both of them was because they were science fiction. That's the reason why I loved them, and they appealed to me. I know who Jane Austen is. I know who Shakespeare is, but the books that appealed to me as a 9th grader were science fiction books, and I still know those days. I know Gene Roddenberry. I know all of those books because of it. I'll admit I know a little bit of Steinbeck, but Of Mice and Men was a great book when I grew up. I love that book. But those are the books that I was introduced to in school. But if you ask me any of that other stuff they make, Jane Eyre, was that her name? Yeah, Jane. Well, all that others, I don't remember any of that stuff. That stuff was not even appealing to me.
Reese, it's great to be able to learn to read, and you can learn to read what you learn to love.
Yeah.
And that's the children in school. They're not focused on learning anymore. They have them all distracted with all this other nonsense that's
So
indoctrinating.
one size
and
fits
harming
all
them.
learning. One size fits all learning. Treating people like
Not even
numbers
one
and not
size fits
people.
all, because they have special education and all that. But the point of the story, they're teaching them things that they need to learn to read. They need to learn the alphabet. They need to learn how to read and write. They need to learn math. They need to make school interesting for the children today. And if the children fell behind, even from the lockdowns we had years ago, they need to have these children go back and have tutors. If it costs the state money for that, that is going to be money well spent. Even
Indeed.
if people would volunteer to come in and read to children, if you don't interest them and they feel that they can't learn. My husband had an experience with a person, maybe he was about 17 or 18 years old. He had to use his cell phone to subtract 20 minus 14. He never learned. But that's heartbreaking.
No, it is. Like I talked about that all the time. I was like, I see some of these kids and they
I
can't
went to
do simple
public
math.
school. I went to Waterbury. I was raised in Waterbury. They had the best education, but you know what? The education was local. And there wasn't the federal involvement at that point. The schools were fabulous. We had the best teachers. I was in the second highest school. Kingsbury was one, Marietta was second. They were fabulous, outstanding schools. I learned all kinds of math.
Which
I
is
learned English, but you were expected to learn. And we had report cards at home, and it also had behavior. Whether you were
Patty,
attending
that's the
class,
point.
arrived at school in time.
Patty, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm
Look
sorry,
at
but
it.
I do have to go to a break. But that was the point that I was making about when we
They
grew up
can't
versus these kids.
destroy their lives.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
have no futures. If you don't learn, how could you master anything as an adult?
Exactly. Thank you, Patty. It's exactly my point. When we come back, I've got to talk about, speaking of schools, I got to talk about this tip that I got about the trade schools in Hartford, Connecticut. On the opposite side of the stupidest thing I read today. I'll tell you about that. This is a scary story happening in the schools with children with developmental issues. We'll talk about that on the other side. You are not going to believe this story when we return. Jason Catarinas, of course, who finally got to see his picture, has got the weather, but Mark Christopher is first with your traffic report in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. We're doing pretty well overall. We're seeing some delays. Southbound 91 sluggish. Stop and go up from 36 down to 32 A and B. A little slow by exit 28. Real good ride northbound 91 Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is running slow. Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic. About a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 384, that looks good. 2 eastbound's okay into Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Westbound 84, some slow traffic. 22 to the Mixmaster in downtown Waterbury. South 95 New Haven slowing 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, mild but cooler overall with a high of 53. Now tonight, we'll get a couple of rain or snow showers overnight with the low dipping back to 37. Lots of clouds on our Thursday. It will be a bit cooler with the high dropping back to 47. On Thursday night, partly cloudy, chilly again with the low down to 36. We start a warming trend as we make our way toward the weekend. Starting Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high moving up to 57. Mostly cloudy and a bit milder on Saturday with the high up to 59. Cloudy, windy, and warm on Sunday. The high moving up to 63 to round out the weekend. Now, Sunday night, going to need to keep a watchful weather eye open. Periods of rain, some of it heavy, a thunderstorm as well. Could lead to some flash flooding. The low down to 49. Cloudy, breezy Monday, the high of 56. Sunny Tuesday, the high of 50. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
52 degrees at 4:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A 32-year-old man who Waterbury police say set fire to his home intentionally was being held captive in that house for over 20 years. The man told first responders on February 17th he set fire to the Blake Street home because he wanted his freedom. Now under arrest is his stepmother, 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan, who faces multiple charges. Also in Waterbury, a man under arrest for killing a woman Tuesday. Police have arrested Julio Arad Figueroa for the stabbing death of Yamaria Vargas Martinez. Police say their 19-year-old daughter tried to break up an altercation in the Lansbury Street apartment. Dog who mauled an animal shelter volunteer in North Haven this month has been euthanized. Those at Animal Haven Shelter say Sarge was, quote, pathologically abnormal and untreatable. The dog attacked the volunteer on March 5th, the victim sustaining critical bite injuries to the face. Man is dead after crashing a car this morning in Bristol. Police there say just before 1 this morning, 22-year-old driver crashed the vehicle at Witches Rock and Cove Roads. Officers say the driver was thrown from the vehicle. The person's name has not yet been released. Canada and the EU swiftly hit back at increased steel and aluminum tariffs opposed by the U.S. Canada matched President Trump's 25% increase on steel and aluminum and raised tariffs. That is, imported taxes on a slew of other U.S. goods. Egg prices, again, reached a record high in February as the bird flu continues to run rampant and Easter and Passover approach. Latest monthly consumer price index showed a dozen grade A eggs cost an average of $5.90 in U.S. cities in February, up 10.4 from the year prior and blowing past the record high of $4.95 a dozen in January. Wall Street, the Dow finished down 82 points today, while the NASDAQ was gaining 212, and the S&P finished up 27 points. NBA tonight, Celtics host OKC. Knicks continue their West Coast soiree in Portland, and in the NHL, the locals are idle. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When winter weather hits, you can depend on WTIC News Talk 1080 to get you through every storm. With weather, Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center working around the clock to give you the latest, most accurate winter weather forecasts. With traffic, Mark Christopher and the WTIC traffic team will get you around the tie-ups. With news, the WTIC news team will have all the important news updates related to every storm. So when winter weather hits, WTIC News Talk 1080 is your most trusted source for the winter information you need.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil has been doing Awaken 180 weight loss for about a month. Last week, we checked in with Phil, who's on vacation in Florida, and he's down more than 20 pounds. After a month, it's looking like 30 pounds of fat gone. Phil, how are you managing to resist all of the vacation foods around and stick to Awaken 180 weight loss?
We went grocery shopping. We got the things off of the menu from the program. Tom, I guess I'm just so excited about the weight loss. I don't want to cheat. I'm doing the shakes. I'm doing the drinks, the chili, the sloppy joes. It's working, and I'm not craving anything.
And that's really the magic of Awaken 180 weight loss. Now, seeing the numbers in the scale come down, that's great. But how else can you tell that you're a much skinnier Phil?
Funny part is, Tom, coming in and out of the swimming pool, my bathing trunks are like falling off me. I have to kind of make sure I'm not carrying anything. I've got to hold my bathing suit up because it's starting to slide off. It's kind of crazy. I feel great. I'm really pumped.
Feeling pumped and losing weight begins by calling 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN's birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. Visit NordVPN and discover the benefits. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Encrypt your online traffic. Reduce the risk of phishing, scam, malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro. Get the special birthday deal at nordvpn.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-488-1329. That's 800-488-1329.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's do it.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
A lot of Run DMC in the show today. Stupidest thing I read today. This one's going to tick people off. You got to go to reeseontheradio.com to read the full story. You can even watch the video. REESE on the radio.com. So apparently on The View, there was an ABC reporter that was on there. It doesn't matter what her name is. It's not important. But on the show, the reporter was telling the ladies of The View that Elon Musk's Tesla company has been suffering greatly because of his work on Doge and, of course, the protests. Stock prices are down, and pretty much how it could be the end of the business as a result of this. That's what the predictions say. But it's what the audience did when they heard this is the stupid thing. Let me tell you why this is important to me, why I find this relevant. And I don't know if I said this here. In fact, it's all a blur now. I may have said it here, but I don't know, don't care. I'll say it now, just so it's on the record. I don't care if Tesla goes under. I don't. Because the only people, in my view, who are buying it are people on the left. And if they stop buying it, and Tesla, the most widely sold vehicle in the United States, goes under, I mean, in comparison, the most sold Tesla vehicle is the Model Y. Last year, it sold 360,000. The next closest vehicle in the electric vehicle market sold 55,000. If Tesla goes, they all go. And then we can get off this stupid electric vehicle nonsense. Tesla goes under, I don't want to hear another thing about EVs. They got an EV that they all loved and people bought, and they put it out of business. And then we could get back to these young people sucking on the fossil fuels like the rest of us. That's right. Sucking up all the oil. Breathe it in. Ooh, all that carbonated oil. Yeah, kill it. Kill the thing that you want. I'll never have to hear from Greta Thunberg again. It'll all be a wrap. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's get Greta Thunberg here. Where is it? Where is she at? Where's my Greta Thunberg audio? Mark Christopher, I've got her audio here on standby, but now I can't find it, especially when I need it. It's so typical. Anyway, Jason Catarinas has got your weather, and Mark Christopher's at BPS Traffic Center. How you doing, guy?
That little brat. Cue her up.
She drives me nuts. From the moment she stepped on the stage, I could not stand that. And it's like, you're never ever supposed to feel that way about a young child.
Right.
But she
But
just
in her case,
makes you mad. She makes me so annoyed. I can't even find it. Anyway, I'm out of here.
she's just an emotional young woman. That's
How dare you?
Give her a little space there, Reese. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, down by exit 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound, you've got delays a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down into the tunnel. 291 through 84 looking good. 2 eastbounds moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Westbound 84 is tied up. 22 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you are heading into New Haven, southbound 95, some slow traffic 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, tonight we'll get a couple of rain or snow showers. Chilly with the low down to 37. Lots of clouds for us as we head through the day on Thursday. A little cooler than it's been, the high 47. Thursday night, partly cloudy. We may get some peaks in at the lunar eclipse late Thursday night, the low down to 36. Mix of clouds and sun Friday. It'll begin to get warmer as we make our way into the weekend. The high 57, mostly cloudy and mild on Saturday. The high 59, cloudy, windy, and warmer Sunday. The high moving up to 63. Right now, it's 46 in New London, 53 in Mansfield, 51 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil, formulated for today's engines only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $32.99 in-store only. Limits apply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Don't let a root canal scare you. Columbia Dental's endodontic experts provide gentle and effective root canal therapy. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychic.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I'm reading this story that Lori just sent me in the chat room about the Bristol principal. It says report finds that Bristol principal intentionally manipulated test results. I do remember this story, Lori, back in October. The thing that I didn't know about the story was that this is a school that was K through 5. And somebody was cheating on the test scores for kids K through 5. Are they teaching them nothing in the 5th grade? Goodness gracious, that's awful. That's just really, really bad. I ended up finding Greta Thunberg too late, and it was right in front of me.
How dare you?
It's right there. By the way, I do want to say this. With all the people losing their minds about the economy, with everyone losing their mind about the economy, I want you to take a deep breath. Whoosah. Whatever you got to do. Take a deep breath. Okay? And then I want you to listen to what we call the divining rod. Right? The one thing that tells us that everything is going to be all right. There are only 2 people in the world that let everyone know that as far as the economy is concerned, it's going to be fine. And that's Robert Reich and this guy. When this guy tells you everything is going north, it's definitely going south. And when he tells you it's going south, it's definitely going north. And that man is Jim Cramer from Mad Money.
So let's talk about stock prices in the White House. Now, this weekend, the president said he's not focused on the stock market. Maybe if you're in power, you're not up for re-election, the stock market could be ignored. That's just one problem. This is what the president's forgetting. The stock market serves a dual role. Yes, it makes rich people richer, no doubt, at least when it's going up. But when it goes down, it can also be a signal that things aren't well in the economy, that business could be getting tougher, and that layoffs could be on the table. Now, big picture, I mostly agree with the president's attitude toward trade, even if I disagree with the details and certainly don't like the angry way he's handling it. Let's do it. All right, listen to me, guys. Right now, the market is trying to tell President Trump that he shouldn't be so rancorous and angry. Just try to get the job done sotto voce, under the, just fly lower, please. And if he keeps ignoring that message, we could end up a hell of a lot lower than where we are with stocks and with the economy.
If Jim Cramer told me his birthday, I wouldn't believe him. If Jim Cramer told me that the sky was blue and water was wet, I would ask for a third opinion. And he could provide none of them. That's all you need to know. You worried about your 401k? Jim Cramer says it's cratering. Jim Cramer is saying that you should be worried. And if he's saying that, chill. You're going to be fine. This guy said that Sam Bankman-Fried was the next Howard Hughes. He did. He did. And then when he got busted, he didn't even know what he was talking about. What did he turn around and tell you? Oh, the guy's a fraud. The guy's a fraud. Jim, were we looking in the mirror when we said that? Were we looking in the mirror? As soon as that guy opens his mouth, as soon as I saw the clip today, I went, oh, Jim Cramer's saying he's saying that the economy is tanked. I think we're fine. Michael B says Cramer is never right. Never. Never. In fact, I would sooner trust Cramer from Seinfeld than I would trust Jim Cramer. Point of reference. Hey, Craig in the car sent me a great text message. Here's Chris Murphy talking too much, talking about how, this guy, Mahmoud Khalil, is being held against his will for doing nothing wrong. Craig in the car says, I wonder if Chris felt that way about January 6 people being held in detention, having never been charged. I would guess not. I would guess not. Lori says he's the last person to get advice from. Yeah, Jim Cramer. He's the last. To the phones we go, 860-522-WTIC. Now, he needs no introduction. How are you, sir?
I'm quite fine, thank you. It's so funny that you mentioned, Tesla and all the people. A lot of us have been avoiding Tesla for many, many reasons, including the fact that they get recalled all the time, and they're very, very expensive out there. So where it'll go away, I don't know. Yesterday, the president had one of those sales commercials where he had all the different models of the Tesla on the lawn, and he was like, these are great cars, and he says, go out and buy a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
He mispronounced the name of the car manufacturer. It's just, I've never seen, any president just hawking a product because, you're.
I have two words for you. I have two words for you.
Okay.
Jeep Rubicon.
What about Jeep Rubicon?
See, someone hasn't done their homework. You see, I did. Now, just so we know for the audience, you know how they do it in like Las Vegas in a magic trick when they say, Tim, I've not met you before. You have not met me before. You and I had no relationship or conversation before you came up on the stage, right? We've never met. And then the magician does the magic trick and then everybody's amazed. And then you bring up the thing that I know you're going to bring up about Donald Trump being at the White House with the two Tesla models and saying that he's hawking off these cars and it's never been done before. And then I go Jeep Rubicon and you don't know what I'm talking about. That's because you should look up Joe Biden Jeep Rubicon. What I'm going to do. No, hold on. Jeep Rubicon. Now, this to make this magic trick perfect. I want you to hang up the phone, go look it up, and then call back, and I will usher you straight through, and then we'll complete. And then we'll complete. Wait, and then we'll complete the magic trick. Wait. In fact, I'll tell everybody. Listening.
Why do you do this to me all the time? I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation.
It isn't intelligent. It's incomplete. It's half-assed, Tim. Tim, it's a half-assed conversation.
No, it's not half-assed.
Let me tell you why it is. Can I tell you why it is? Can I tell you why it is? Because I got into this discussion.
I didn't look up something that I didn't know about.
Because you should know about it before you're outraged about it. And I tell people that they should at least, before they jump out the...
outraged.
Please stop for a second.
I've known that this guy,
Stop for a second. So I can tell you what you don't know. Remember, Tim, you walked in here without any information, so let me inform you. Okay,
no,
so you don't.
Didn't.
So you don't have to be embarrassed.
You're so full of baloney. It's ridiculous.
Tim,
if I don't agree,
I'm trying to help you here, and you don't want to be helped.
And everything else.
How about this? How about this? Hold on.
I have a different point of view.
I know you do, but you're wrong.
You're not man enough.
You are like the Jim Cramer of this talk show. You're always wrong.
I want to bring up, something like that.
Hold on, Tim. Hold on for a second, Tim Cramer. Hold on for a second. Listen to me. I'm going to say this to you. This is why you need to understand it. Okay, so while everybody was talking about Donald Trump hawking Teslas on the lawn, everybody went out and immediately found, when everybody was outraged, was like, he can't do that. He can't promote an American company at the White House. And then a video showed up of Joe Biden driving on the White House grounds in a Jeep Rubicon. Which again...
Because he said he was not allowed to drive.
Why was the Jeep there? Wait, is he promoting... Hold on.
Jeep Rubicon.
Why was he there?
With laying off thousands of people.
What about... Wait a minute. Did Joe Biden go to...
Not. It's apples and oranges.
No, it isn't. Did Joe Biden go to a Ford facility? I'll even tell you the day. I know the exact day. Joe Biden went to a Ford facility and he rode the first off-the-line Ford F-150 electric vehicle. Did he not?
Great.
That would be an endorsement. That would be an endorsement of an American business, wouldn't it?
I'm not going to be against. I'm not going to be against Ford or Tesla.
I don't understand it. Just know when you're beaten. Just know what you're beaten. You're not Luke Skywalker. You are beaten. I love it when Darth Vader tells Luke that. You are beaten. He can't take it. He just can't. And again, this is the arrogance of these people on the left. Not all of them, but many of them. They can't accept when they are beaten. Do you understand? It's my job every day to blow it up. Every narrative. I do my homework. What, do you really think that you're going to call up here and you're actually going to throw me a curveball? It's going out the park, homie. It's always out the park. You can't try me with that nonsense. That's right. It is useless to resist. You are beaten. Let's go to Greg. He's in Farmington. How are you, Greg? You are Reese on the Radio. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir. How are you, Reese?
I'm all right. What's going on?
I was just wondering when AOC was going to be arraigned for her felony for employing illegals.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on. I did hear that. No, when it wasn't employing, wasn't she helping illegals thwart ICE agents? Because I know that Tom Homan referred her to the Justice Department.
It was my understanding that he was in her employ on her payroll as one of her staff members. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah, that was it. But that was the person who was on her staff was that last year or the year before?
Probably last year.
I think it was last year. I think you're right about that. I had totally forgotten that story. I don't think anybody's going to make any mention of it. They'll leave AOC alone because right now, to be honest with you, it's not a good PR campaign. AOC really destroys herself. By the way, did you hear she's now going to be talking at conservative town halls in Republican districts now?
Really? Imagine that.
Dude, nobody is more excited than me. I totally want to see that. No one's more excited than I am to see this get done. Because look, I don't think she did a horrible interview with the friendly NPR. And a lot of friendly interviews, when they push her on stuff, it turns out that she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's going to do one town hall in a conservative district, and they're going to eat her alive. And they're not going to shout. They're just going to eat her alive. I don't expect her to ever do it again after the first one.
It'll be a one-shot deal.
Oh, yeah. But I still want to see it. I only want to see it because, again, if they really want to salvage what's left is the integrity of the Democrat Party, look, Gavin Newsom, make fun of him if you want to. He's making an effort by having conservatives on his new podcast. Now, California may suffer because he's obviously not governing, but what the hell? It's fun to watch. It's great entertainment for the rest of us. I appreciate it. Thank you, Greg, man. Thank you for calling me. You got it. Mark is in Windsor. How are you, Mark?
Not bad. Hello to all the men and women listeners out there.
Hey, now.
Hey, that guy that called in earlier,
yes.
I don't think he realizes President Trump was speaking up for Tesla after the numerous domestic terrorist incidents that occurred at the Tesla stations and Tesla dealerships.
That's right.
Recently, and that is what the point of the conference, what the press conference was, and
Indeed.
that's why he was standing there with Tesla, and he was saying this. Elon does not need to be doing what he's doing for America. The man does not need any press. He does not need any money.
Right.
He's doing what he's doing for free.
That's
Donald
right.
Trump is not taking a salary. They're both doing what they're doing for free. I think that Tim, it's sad that all this hate, this unnecessary hate, blinds their intelligence and their objectivity, because I don't understand how, and that's one of the things Trump spoke up about. He was saying there are innocent people that are working at these places, at these recharging stations, at these dealerships, and these domestic terrorists are going and they're setting these places on fire. They're setting these cars on fire, and someone could get hurt.
That's right. And the gas stations are another one, because think about it. They're attacking those charging stations. Those are at private businesses unowned by Tesla. They're at Wawa, 7-Elevens, and places like that. So those people are suffering, and those are small business owners. Those guys aren't big wigs and billionaires.
And that's domestic terrorism.
Indeed.
Attacking the economic infrastructure, causing terror amongst the public like that. And it's sad that people like that people like Chris Murphy are in the position that he is, and he hates America, but he portrays himself as an American politician. It's really sad that we here in Connecticut have to deal with someone like him.
Hey, you know what? The fact that Chris Murphy is standing up for Mahmoud Khalil, right, a guy who wants to destroy Israel, shows exactly the point you're making. It is no objectivity whatsoever. It's blind hatred because, again, Donald Trump has proven, as everybody else have, and I said here, if Donald Trump cured cancer, they take cancer's side. That's how much they hate him.
Pretty much, they would be mad with him for putting cancer researchers out of business. You're exactly right. And that's another thing. That dude Khalil, whatever his name is, Mahmoud, they terrorize. That's right. They terrorize these students on college campuses.
That's right.
This man is probably getting a free education, and he's terrorizing.
Oh, no, he's already graduated. That's the worst part. Do you know that? He's already graduated. So he's back at his old school.
I would like to know what are the circumstances behind who paid for his education.
I don't, you know what?
Why is it,
that's exactly what the State Department is doing now, and they're going to get rid of him. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you, man. I love it when you call in, man. You too, man. All right, we got to get another check of our traffic and our weather. Jason Catarinas, of course, has got your weather, but Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy?
We're doing pretty good, Reese, overall. Westbound 84, some tied-up traffic. East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 48.7 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you're on the brakes. About a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley Bridge. Southbound 91 delays, 33 down to 32, and again down by exit 38. You see another slowdown as you move Middletown into Meriden between exit 20 and 19 on the southbound side of 91. North 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlborough. Now, if you're heading 9 northbound into Middletown, delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. We do have an accident southbound Route 9 on the Middletown Haddam line between 19 and 15, so a lane out there. If you are heading into Waterbury right now, westbound 84, you're tied up 23 up to the Mixmaster. 95 is slowing in New Haven from 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. For the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, a mild day but cooler overall, the high of 53. A couple of rain or snow showers tonight, chilly with the low down to 37. Lots of clouds for us on Thursday. It will be a bit cooler with the high down to 47. Partly cloudy on Thursday night, the low 36. Then Friday, not as cool with a mix of clouds and sun to round out the week and head toward the weekend, the high moving back up to 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 51 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. A New Haven police detective is getting credit for solving a cold case abduction. Police say 2-year-old Andrea Reyes was in the legal custody of her father when she was taken to Mexico by her mother in 1999. The case remained a mystery until Detective Kaylin Nivikov picked it up in 2023. Using social media, interview, and tips, she tracked Andrea to Puebla, Mexico. DNA confirmed a match with her father, Carlos, a New Haven school teacher. His wife, Lucia, is thankful.
When we contacted Detective Nivikov with information, a possible lead in our case, she listened and worked with us using DNA technology, which led to the moment we were told that we had found Andrea.
Now, Carlos has spoken on the phone to his daughter, who's now 26. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is arranging for a meetup. Waterbury police have arrested a woman they say kept her stepson captive in their home for over 2 decades. The now 32-year-old intentionally set fire to their Blake Street home back on February 17th, telling first responders he wanted his freedom. He told them 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan held him against his will since he was 11. The man was emaciated, suffering from neglect, they say. He sustained smoke and other injuries in the fire. Sullivan faces kidnapping and other charges and is being held on bond. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says there aren't enough votes in his chamber to pass the continuing resolution that came out of the House to keep the government funded through Friday. Instead, he says they're all in on a 30-day bill in order to hammer out a permanent bipartisan solution.
Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass.
Billions of dollars worth of American-made goods are now being targeted for increased tariffs in retaliation for new taxes President Trump has instituted on foreign-made steel and aluminum.
Overnight, the U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports. In response, the European Union and Canada announced retaliatory tariffs of their own. The EU is targeting $28 billion worth of American goods, including beef, bourbon, motorcycles, and jeans, while Canada is taxing more than $20 billion worth of products, including steel, computers and servers, and cast iron goods.
CBS's Erica Brown at the White House. In the Oval Office today, the president talked about the U.S. proposed ceasefire deal in Ukraine.
He said the talks in Saudi Arabia were a great success.
We have a full ceasefire if it kicks in. We have to see. It's up to Russia now.
Where he said an envoy is heading as we speak. As to whether he thinks President Putin will agree to the deal,
we're going to know very soon. I've gotten some positive messages, but a positive message means nothing. This is a very serious situation.
A situation that he says could lead to World War III.
And Biden should have never let it happen.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Wall Street, the Dow down 82 points today. NASDAQ picked up 212 points, and the S&P was up 27. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden...
1 minute.
...buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish. And you can have them too.
And you can have it all at 2 for $6, like a Filet-O-Fish, Big Mac, 10-piece Big Nuggets, or large fries. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10
Tim, I
years
thought
old,
you were
they
going
pretty
over
much gone
to
the
the
dogs.
other station.
But at
Why are
AOL
you still
Home
here?
Services, we can fetch you a free
I thought you were
furnace
going
for
to the
2 for
WIC,
$2. For a limited time, when you
WICC.
purchase a new air conditioning
Why are you still
system,
here?
you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for
Hinton.
For safety. P10277688, D10401465, D11856443, S33086999, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HRD 635, HRD 223.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I love it when people say, I'm leaving, and they don't leave. My first wife was like that. I'm leaving you. She never left. Well, until she left. But in the beginning, it was just it was a crazy love affair. We fight, we get back together, we break up. I understand this love affair. We got, of course, somebody in the in the chat room. I'm leaving. Sure you are. You ever watch that movie? Oh gosh, why am I forgetting the name? It comes in my mind. Bronx Tale. That's when Chaz Palminteri says to the biker gang, now yous can't leave. That's my favorite line. Now yous can't leave. You can't leave. You're not going anywhere. You love me. I love you too. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean I love you. I got great love for you. And I love arguing with you. It's just me. It's my thing. It's a personal thing to me. While you get angry and frustrated and you're all screaming and hollering, I'm laughing. I'm having the best fun ever. And it's a little sick on my part. It's almost sadist on my part. But when, like, my wife is the only person where she says she's not talking to me, that's when you got me. You want to upset me? Don't talk to me. That was like, you want to put, like, isolate me? Don't talk to me? That's it. I'm done. Especially if I care. Like, if I care, then I'm like, oh, come on, talk to me. I like it when we're fighting. It's weird. My wife yesterday, we were on our walk, and I said something to my wife. Of course, I was trying to be slick and trying to be funny. And I said something along the lines of, it's like, when are you not talking? And she was like, oh, really? And then she wouldn't talk for the rest of our walk. And I was just like, we weren't in 5 minutes in, and I was going, oh, come on, I'm sorry. I was begging her. Come on, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. She didn't talk for at least 20 minutes. We got back in the house. She refused. She went into the bedroom, wouldn't talk. I was beside myself because I couldn't get her mad. All I wanted to do was to yell at me. I did not want her to be quiet. Because a woman who won't talk to you, oh, evil. It's behind that silence. Let's get another check of the weather. And, of course, traffic with Jason Katarina and Mark Christophers at the BPS Traffic Center. You ever have your wife give you the silent treatment, Mark? What's that like?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's bad. I'm telling you, nothing is worse than having her not talk to you. It's like I've never understood it. I would rather have her yelling and screaming at me than for her to be quiet.
Too, so, yeah, I get both ends. So.
Yeah, but which would you rather have? Her screaming and yelling at you or not talking to you? If you had the choice. When she's mad.
Screaming and yelling. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's not drag it
the
on
silent treatment is like, you might as well be sticking like nails in my eyes.
Because then you have no idea what you're dealing with.
Yes.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
That's exactly right.
I understand. I totally get it. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84 slows, approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45. Flatbush 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 is an avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound a little slow by 33. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91, very good ride. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291, 384, OK. 2 eastbound's moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound. Between exit 15 and 19, the left lane's blocked with an overturned motor vehicle. Same story, 9 southbound between 19 and 15. That is also taking out the left lane. So it sounds like this overturned motor vehicle affecting both sides of the highway on the Middletown Haddam line. If you're heading 9 northbound, delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury's a little slow. Westbound 8423 up to the Mixmaster. 95 South New Haven slowing 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A couple of rain or snow showers tonight. Chilly, the low down to 37. Lots of clouds for us Thursday. Not quite as warm as it's been, but still mild with the high 47. Partly cloudy. Chilly Thursday night. We may get a peek at the lunar eclipse late Thursday night, the low down to 36. Not as cool on Friday. We're going to kick in a warming trend with a mix of clouds and sun, the high 57. Mostly cloudy, milder Saturday, the high 59. Sunday, cloudy, windy, and a bit warmer, the high up to 63. Right now, it's 51 in Danbury, 47 in Bridgeport, 49 in New Haven. It's 51 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Katarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries.
1 minute.
You checked your wireless bill. Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, T-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/.
Here we go.
Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it.
Yeah, we're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Do not forget, if you download the Odyssey app, if you haven't done it, download it now so you can win your chance to win a Disney Destiny cruise for 4. You download the Odyssey app, put in your name and your information, and you have to listen to the Odyssey app 1 hour a day for 7 days a week in order for you to have an opportunity to win. And also in this hour, our last but not least caller of the day will win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, your bagel bakery and sandwich cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. And I said all of that looking directly into the camera and didn't look down to read the script. I'm applauding myself. I have to. I've been trying to get that out without having to flub or look down. It's like, oh, he's reading. It's inauthentic if you have to read it. That's my thing, right? I love when I'm working with the sponsor, I don't want to, because people don't believe you when you're reading it from a script. I like this brand. You should try this brand. It's not realistic. And I love Between Rounds. They're good people. And I love their bagels too. Anyway, so I just want to say, just call up 860-522-WTIC. Be the last but not least caller of the day. And the phone lines will be open at the end of the day. Excuse me. This is not a lost thing on me. And that is the hypocrisy that we hear from the left over and over again. And before I get to the phone calls, I want to play this audio. This is important to iterate with where we are when it comes to people who are pushing back on Doge, on waste, fraud, and abuse, on things like Social Security, Medicaid, and all of those things. What we've heard all of our lives in politics was lip service. We have these meetings, we have these press conferences, we do this stuff for show in Washington, telling the Americans that we have to make the hard decisions. Do this, do that. Some people are going to hurt. Some things. And sure enough, people go, oh, look at them. They're really talking about it. They seem to be concerned. They're going to do this and that stuff and these. And usually that stuff is covered, I don't know, with sort of like a drive-by sense of self. Right? It's just, this is the news and that's it. But a lot of people talked about making hard decisions, like cutting the spending in entitlements, in particular, Medicaid and Social Security. Some of these people have had a long career. And when no one was looking, they were hawkish on getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. And they appeared to be. But then we found out somebody was really going to come in and take a scalpel, a hacksaw, or a chainsaw to those entitlements. And now, all of a sudden, people want to put an end to it. No, don't cut that. You can't cut that. No, people are going to die. But if you listen, if you really listen to those same people who are screaming and hollering, if you listen to what they said many, many moons ago, you'll realize they were kind of saying the same thing. Like this guy, Chucky Schumer.
If we're going to eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare, it does mean we're going to cut some of that out. And when I hear my friend Dave Camp say, you cannot cut money out of Medicare, well, we don't want to cut the good stuff that you point out. 1/3 of Medicare doesn't go to patient care. You can't just get up there and say, we don't want to cut anything out of Medicare. We want to cut the bad stuff and keep the good stuff.
Really? Cut the bad stuff, you say? I'm stunned. But again, no one will ever hold that man's feet to the fire. Isn't that what you said? 1/3 of it. 1/3 of Medicare you were willing to cut back in 2010, Chucky. Here's another guy, Bernie Sanders. Bernie, Democrat, Socialist Sanders, the guy who loves the state, the guy who is a nanny state lover boy. What did he say about entitlements? 2008, folks.
No question that there is an enormous amount of waste and fraud and abuse in this government. There is no question to my mind that Congress has not been vigilant enough in rooting out that waste and fraud to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. I would simply say that while it is absolutely appropriate to condemn the Congress, it is also important to note that we have an administration in this city, in Washington, D.C., and the function of an administration is to administer. And that means that when there is waste and fraud, you have an administration who should also be on top of that situation.
Oh, what? Bernie, I'm so glad to be a socialist. Sanders says that when you have an administration, that administration needs to administer cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. All you have to do is inject that from 2008 till today. Bernie Sanders would be for the administration administering the things that would go after waste, fraud, and abuse. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is to just go back there and say, you guys were for this. You guys loved this idea. You guys were all over television on C-SPAN talking about how you were doing the work of the American people, not wasting their tax dollars. Now Donald Trump gets in and it's like, no, wait. No. What about the workers? Waste, fraud, and abuse be damned now. Oh, and let's not forget about the whole government shutdown, which you're scared to death of. I don't think I've ever seen the Democrats so scared to death, caught in a quagmire, if you will. If we cause the government shutdown, that means that more waste, fraud, and abuse will be cut. If we shut down industries, that means that Doge will just go nuts and actually cut more people. We'd only be giving them what they want. But then, if we fund the CR, we give the Republicans what they want. What do we do? What do we do? Let me help you, Democrats. Lay down, play dead. Lay down, play dead. You've got no wins here. You got no wins here. Either way, Republicans get what they want. Remember what Barack Obama said famously? Remember? And I was mad. I never thought that it would come back and work in my favor. Barack Obama said, elections have consequences. Yes, they do. And you screwed up. You screwed up. You put all your chips in transgenderism. You put all your chips in all that nonsense in the schools. You put all your chips behind genderqueer. You put all your chips behind boys beating up girls in the sports. You put all your chips around shutting anybody down who was opposed to that and said, hey, guys, we're losing our way. You shut everybody down. You still are. I want to see what you're going to do on Friday. Can't wait. Really excited. Can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, it's going to be so fantastic. Let's go to Dave in Lynchfield. How are you, Dave?
Good. It's amazing how the people on the left want you shut down, want Fox News taken off the air. If they can't do that, they're going to come up there and argue with you. It's good political theater. You argue with Tim. That's funny.
Thank you, sir.
It is. And it's funny how Elon Musk and Tesla, they were the darlings of the left. Mm-hmm. Oh, they want to take the taxpayer money and force the middle-class people to give a tax cut to the wealthy so they can buy Teslas. Mm-hmm. Now that Elon Musk shows he has a mind of his own, they're angry with him. Well, you guys subsidize this guy.
That's right.
People on the left.
And they're willing, that's
did.
the other part, Dave, is that they're willing to destroy the most prominent manufacturer of the one thing they want all of us to do, electric vehicles. So this guy is like, he's in the forefront of electric vehicles. He has the most sold every year. Last year, 360,000 Tesla Ys. I think his Cybertruck sold like 33,000. But he's, in fact, in the top 5 most sold electric vehicles. Elon Musk shows up twice. Tesla shows up twice in the Y model and the Cybertruck. And there are 3 others on the list. So he is essentially, without Tesla, the electric car business dies. And they're willing to kill it. And that was the template of the Democrat Party, of the liberal orthodoxy, was to get everybody into electric cars. But they want to destroy it so much. They want to destroy him and Trump so much, they're willing to forego climate change, the existential threat of our future.
Well, you know what? You got to have something besides. We got to get Trump. What's your policy? If they do this, they're screwing it up. The left, the people on the left, you know. And as far as that thing goes, yesterday we were talking about the guns in Mexico. They claim they come from the United States. I knew that the Army captains and the police officers on the drug dealers' payroll. All right, for one of 2 reasons. One, because they don't make a lot of money. Civil servants in Mexico.
That's true.
And 2, because they could get killed.
That's right.
It's a failed narco state, and the drug cartels are very powerful in Mexico. So they can get the best full-auto and semi-auto weapons they want. So our gun control laws don't matter. There's 66,000 murders a year in Mexico and a population of 100 million. Well, that's 1/3 of our population of 66,000 murders. We're running what, about 18,000 murders a year?
Probably less than that. I think our last count was about roughly about 13,000 handgun violent deaths. So yeah, we're about 13,000. So yeah, you're right. That's a considerable amount. But you made a good point. Because look at Mexico. We had, before the election of this Claudia Sheinbaum woman, I think we had like 2 or 3 presidential candidates who were murdered in Mexico before that election.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's right. They run, you're right, it's a narco state. The cartels run that town.
Yeah, they do. Well, it doesn't matter. You can get instructions on how to make a Glock on the internet. Defense Distributed. Paloma Heindorf runs it now, from what I heard.
Oh, wow.
But, and they have the auto sears for the Glocks. They want to ban Glocks. Go ahead and ban them. They'll make their own. Some of these drug cartels, and they're operating in this country, they'll have armorers. They'll either have in-house armors or have an armor for the criminal element. They'll make Glocks, and the auto sear is what it does is it takes the semi-auto Glock and turns it into a full-auto machine pistol. But ban them. They have instructions on how to make them on the internet.
You know what you made me think of, Dave, as you were talking about that? There's an interesting part, right? So what happens when you don't export in Mexico, right? Who are your biggest consumers in the market of Mexico, right? When you're selling things locally, there's only one place that has all the money, and that's the cartels or cartel-affiliated people, right? Those are the most wealthy in the communities. Like, you're not a rich guy in there unless you're running cartels. So in essence, everything the cartel wants, the cartel gets. So if they need guns, they'll get guns. And if you need to make money as a police or a federal police, whatever the case may be, well, the federales are a little different, but the local police, if you want to make some extra money to stay above ground, what do? You have to rely on the people who you're supposed to sort of fight against. But again, you know that they have more power than you. So you know what? They purchase the guns, and then somebody finds a way to sell them out the back door.
Right. Absolutely.
That's exactly what's going on.
Gun control.
No, I was going to say thank you, Dave. I appreciate you, sir. Let's take one more. Dave's in Brantford before we get out of here. How are you, sir?
Yeah, quick hit. I'd like to thank Mark, Mr. Traffic, last night for playing that Dave Brubeck Take 5.
Oh, no doubt.
Really quick. What a director. I checked into Parks and Rec in my town.
Yeah.
What happens is when we play copyrighted music in public, the town actually buys that ASCAP license that you were talking about.
Really?
And then they get the right to have people that perform live music on the green. And the high school, when they put on a play or a musical, they have that right. And you wouldn't even think when you have a parade and you're playing copyrighted Christmas or patriotic music for the 4th of July, the copyright royalty needs to be paid. Well, the town license takes care of that. Who knew? And
I would have never. Thank you for doing all that investigating, because again, I almost felt like they were sort of what's the deal? Like they were sort of nickel and diming everyone, but apparently, I mean, the way that you're saying is like the whole town is making. I guess that may be That may be legally what they have to do. I think that's what that new law.
Well, you don't have to worry about individual royalties. The ASCAP organization decides how to, award the royalty payments to the collective artist community. And I was down there checking out for the unrolling of the baseball season. And the rec director also puts on plays in the high school. And he knew all about this. And I thought it might be of interest to you.
No, it is. Thank you for telling me, because now I'm saying to myself, imagine if you're an artist and you get a check at home one day and you find out what you're like, hey, what am I getting this royalty check from? I was like, oh, look, a parade in New Haven played my record.
Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you, man. That's actually pretty cool. Of course I want the artist to get paid. I'm still on the fence, but I'm happy to know the information. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Jason Catarinas, of course, has your weather. But let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center getting you home. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report is being brought to you by the Connecticut Prevention Network. And if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge of 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound locked up a mile before 46th Avenue, down into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 33, down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Northbound side of 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor, 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound, no issues, Glastonbury to Marlboro. We do have a crash now, 9 northbound on the Haddam Middletown line. It's between exit 15 and 19. The left lane's blocked with an overturned motor vehicle accident there. If you're heading westbound 84 to Waterbury, some delays 25A up to 25. Westbound 84 slowing again by the Mixmaster in Waterbury. South 95 New Haven, some tight traffic 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Want to get involved in problem gambling awareness? Connecticut has gambling awareness teams throughout the state. Visit gamblingAwarenessCT.org to find your regional coordinator and get involved in bringing problem gambling into the conversation of mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, mild but cooler overall with the high of 53. Now tonight, we'll get a couple of rain or snow showers overnight with the low dipping back to 37. Lots of clouds on our Thursday. It will be a bit cooler with the high dropping back to 47. On Thursday night, partly cloudy, chilly again with the low down to 36. We start a warming trend as we make our way toward the weekend. Starting Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high moving up to 57. Mostly cloudy and a bit milder on Saturday with the high up to 59. Cloudy, windy, and warm on Sunday. The high moving up to 63 to round out the weekend. Now, Sunday night, going to need to keep a watchful weather eye open. Periods of rain, some of it heavy. A thunderstorm as well. Could lead to some flash flooding. The low down to 49. Cloudy, breezy Monday, the high of 56. Sunny Tuesday, the high of 50. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Dog that attacked a volunteer at a no-kill shelter in North Haven has been euthanized. Animal Haven says in a social media post that Sarge was unrehabilitatable. This after the dog turned on the volunteer back on March 5th. The victim sustained level 5 bites to the face, one level short of death, according to the shelter. Man's under arrest charged in the stabbing of his domestic partner in Waterbury. Julio Arad Figueroa attacked Yomira Vargas Martinez in the couple's Lounsbury Street apartment in front of their daughter, say police. He is charged with murder and being held on bond. President Trump challenging U.S. allies by increasing tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports to 25%. Saying he wants to take back wealth that was stolen by other countries. Man who escaped the custody of New Haven police this morning while in handcuffs was recaptured. State police assisted in capturing the prisoner who escaped from the Whaley Avenue lockup. The government lawyer has asked a federal judge to move the legal fight over the detention of Mahmoud Khalil to either New Jersey or Louisiana. The request made during a hearing today in New York. Khalil, one of those behind the protests at Columbia University against the Israel-Hamas war last year. And in New London, officials say this year's Sailfest celebration is off. Organizers say the city's budget constraints haven't left enough funding for resources such as police, fire, and public works support. It's the first time in 45 years the event won't be held. Officials do say there will be 3 separate fireworks displays, courtesy of Foxwoods Resort Casino. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 82 points today. The Nasdaq picked up 212, and the S&P was up 27 points. NBA tonight, good one in Boston between the Celtics and OKC. Knicks are out in Portland to take on the Blazers, and nothing doing locally for the NHL locals tonight. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil has been doing Awaken 180 weight loss for about a month. Last week, we checked in with Phil, who's on vacation in Florida, and he's down more than 20 pounds. After a month, it's looking like 30 pounds of fat gone. Phil, how are you managing to resist all of the vacation foods around and stick to Awaken 180 weight loss?
We went grocery shopping. We got the things off of the menu from the program. Tom, I guess I'm just so excited about the weight loss. I don't want to cheat. I'm doing the shakes. I'm doing the drinks, the chili, the sloppy joes. It's working, and I'm not craving anything.
And that's really the magic of Awaken 180 weight loss. Now, seeing the numbers in the scale come down, that's great. But how else can you tell that you're a much skinnier Phil?
Funny part is, Tom, coming in and out of the swimming pool, my bathing trunks are like falling off me. I have to kind of make sure I'm not carrying anything. I've got to hold my bathing suit up because it's starting to slide off. It's kind of crazy. I feel great. I'm really pumped.
Feeling pumped and losing weight begins by calling 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-431-2715. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see and to get this important free information, call 800-431-2715. 800-431-2715. 800-431-2715.
Happy birthday
That
to
there
us.
is an enormous
100
amount
years
of waste
serving Connecticut.
and fraud and abuse in this.
Sorry about that. Reese on the radio. We're back. NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. If you wish to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months from between rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, you got to give us a call in the next break coming up very soon. You can wait until the end of the show and then give us a try. The number's 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Somebody tried to suggest, try this on for size. And I love this because if there's anybody who deserves applause from yours truly, anybody who deserves applause from me are the haters. God bless you. I applaud you every single day. I remember Cat Williams did that comedy special when he said, if you've got haters, get your behind out there and get some more. I love you, haters. I love you. You are everything to me. Everything. You're why I wake up in the morning, with the exception of my wife. But I love the haters. You want to know why? Because let me explain to you how ridiculous the hate is. Someone suggested that that people would listen to the show for some silly gimmick. That's funny. If that's the case, you listen to the show for that silly gimmick. You love this show. I know you do. You know that I know that you do. So just look, listen and hate. I want you to just sit at home, grab a towel, whatever it is that you got to give you, and wring it. Just like, I hate that son of a gun. That's what I want. I love your hate. Don't you understand that? It's like the Emperor. My favorite character, by the way, and for those of you who don't know, my favorite character in movie history, is Darth Vader. I know you guys don't know that. Not Anakin. Screw that guy. I love Darth Vader. Specifically, Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. He's perfect. He's prime Vader then. There's no good in him. But I love him. When he says, search your anger. I love it. Even the Emperor, for that matter. I love it. Deep down. Your anger will help you join the dark side. I want you. I don't listen. It ain't all sweet. It's never supposed to be sweet. I want you. I want your curmudgeon. I need that. Keep hating. Keep hating. I celebrate you. You're everything to me. You motivate me. You put a battery on my back. God bless you. And keep listening. Speaking of listening, even the haters have to get home and they have to know the weather. Jason Caterina's got your weather, haters. And so does Mark Christopher. He's got your traffic in the BPS Traffic Center. Serve the haters, if you will, Mark Christopher.
You got it, Reese. Thank you. And if you are heading into downtown Hartford right now, this traffic report is being brought to you by Tab Computer Systems, a 100% employee-owned company. And if you're heading southbound 91, look out for an accident in Hartford. It's in the HOV breakdown lane, left side, down by exit 33 Jennings Road. So a little bit of rubbernecking at that. Once you get around that, a little slow traffic down by exit 28. Now, on the northbound side of I-91, you've got a good ride Carmel through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 through 84 moving well. 2 westbounds in good shape. Just some slow traffic in East Hartford exit 4 up to the 84 West merge. Look out. We had an accident on 9 northbound between exit 15 and 19 on the Haddam Middletown line. That was causing a problem in the left lane. Looks like that's clear because those delays have eased out down there. So that looks like that's out of the way. If you're traveling westbound 84 in Waterbury, a little slow at the Mixmaster 95 southbound New Haven. Some tight traffic 46 to 44 in New Haven. At Tab Computer Systems, our employee owners are dedicated to your business success. We offer affordable enterprise-grade solutions in cybersecurity, VoIP, compliance, IT consulting, implementation, and support. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Chilly tonight with a couple of rain or snow showers. The low down to 37. Plenty cloudy for us Thursday. A little cooler than it's been. Not too bad, though. The high 47. Partly cloudy on Thursday night. It looks like we could get some glimpses of the lunar eclipse late. The low down to 36. Now Friday, a little milder with clouds and sun. The high moving up to 57 to round out the week. Warmer over the weekend. Mostly cloudy Saturday. The high 59. Cloudy, windy, and warmer on Sunday with the high of 63. Currently 54 in Marion, Waterbury at 48, Bristol 50, and it's 52 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
O'Reilly Veriscan is a free check engine light testing program that pulls from over 600 million vehicle scans confirmed by ASC certified technicians to provide a simple report and possible fixes available exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Happy birthday. 1 minute.
2 surprises for you. 2 surprises from NordVPN. 2 surprises for you.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN. We have a special birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. NordVPN is rated as excellent on PC Mag. Visit nordvpn.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool. Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more peace of mind. Get the special birthday deal at nordvpn.com. Additional terms apply. Here we go. Cybersecurity built for every day.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Please don't be hating. From B-Rad. I love that. Don't be hating. No, I want them to hate, Adam. They've got to. They have to. It's in them. It's in their system. They've got to hate. I want that. People who love the show, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it about them. But no, they must. They must. I need them. I need them. They make me stronger. The number is 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. That is if you want to win the last but not least caller of the day so that you can win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. And I've been trying my best to get on this Awaken 180, and I got the sales department working on it, Roland. They're gonna see if they're gonna. I don't know exactly what the program is, but as far as I don't know if they provide you with the food or you have to buy your own food or you have to call in. What's the whole? But I'm gonna try to get on it. My wife said something to me that was absolutely devastating. Let's just say she called me fat without calling me fat. I think the word that she used was hefty or unhealthy is what she said. She said something along those lines. I'll admit.
I love that.
You love what? That she called me hefty?
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, yeah, of course you would. But yeah, but see, you're a skinny person. You are, you're where I used to be for a lot of years until, I started eating a lot of processed foods. Divorce will put this weight on you. That's what happened. One of two.
That's what
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't cook. See, I'm a horrible, I was divorced
get in
for
the kitchen,
a long time.
man.
I won't. I just won't do it. It is my
Chef
own
up a
stubborn.
little,
I know.
Green beans and grilled chicken and.
Polly says do keto. I did. When I first joined WTIC, Polly, I did keto. I couldn't. I tried and it was making me sick. Did you ever do that, Roland? You ever tried keto?
No, I never did keto.
Never did it? Okay.
No.
I
did the carnivore diet, though.
Really?
Yeah, I did that before.
Is that just meat?
Just all meat.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did it for 30 days. It actually made me feel really, really good.
Did it?
To be honest, but I knew you're not supposed to, 30 days is more than enough.
Oh, right. So you're never supposed to overindulge. Then now, did you have to go
yeah.
raw, no meat after the 30 days, or did you have to
No. I just started incorporating a lot of fruits.
A lot of fruits.
A lot of juice and vegetables and water. And
I'll tell you this. And this is I'll never forget this young lady named Michelle, and I will never forget the first year. It had to be in 1997 when I met her. This girl was Amazon tall. She was at least 6'1". Very long black hair. She was a beautiful girl, but she was a big girl. I mean, she was, like a big girl. She was a big girl. She had a little shape to her, but she was, again, overweight. And about a year later, I saw her in the summer, and she came back into town. And when I saw her, I didn't even recognize her. I looked at her, and she was Wonder Woman. That's how, Amazon gorgeous. She had completely lost all the weight. Her shape was back. She looked like Susan Anton. Older people will know who that is. She was gorgeous, but black hair, and everything was on her, just not a blemish anywhere. And I looked at her, and I went, "Are you Michelle?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's me." And I was like, "What in the world? happened to you? And she was like, what? What happened? What do you mean? I was like, you look amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't bite my tongue. I said, I don't bite my tongue. I said, oh my God, you look amazing. And she goes, oh, okay. Wow, you scared me. I was just like, no. I was like, I remember what you looked like last year. You lost all this weight. You look amazing. I did hit on her. She was amazing.
I remember what you looked like last year.
Yeah, as I remember what you looked like last year, you look amazing. I know this was my way of hitting on her. And Roland, let me tell you, it worked.
Stay married, my friend.
It worked. It worked. Nonetheless, but she was, and I asked her, I said, what did you do? You'll never believe it. She went on a raw diet, just raw fruits and vegetables. No meat, no nothing.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I was like, she said, it makes you hella regular. But she had no meat. She lost all of the weight. I was like, and she, again, astonishing. And then I found out that she was actually best friends with my stalker. And that was another interesting story. Trust me, that story, that's going to be for my stage show. When I do my stage show, I'll tell that story again.
You know, you really could do like stand-up comedy.
You think I could?
Yeah, I think you could.
Oh, well, I did it once. And
you got the main part is being able to capture your audience. You can do that. So then you just got to incorporate
the line,
funny stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I do. Again, folks, and the phone lines are wide open. So give us a call, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. So you can win between rounds a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. And the lines are always clear at the end of the show, just specifically for that, so we can get the last but not least caller of the day. Before I get to the phone calls that are there, I want to play this. Doug Collins was talking to a woman by the name of Patricia Kime. She works for military.com. She's a journalist there. And this is the thing. What Doug Collins, the Secretary of Veteran Affairs, what he did in this exchange is exactly what I've been talking about since the beginning of my tenure with WTIC. And that was take it directly to the source. When the news media lies, you've got to come with the receipts. You remember when Donald Trump did that to Kristen, what was her name? Kristen, whatever her name is from CNN? Kristen Collins. Caitlin Collins, that's her name. Did it to Caitlin Collins when he did that town hall. He went into his pocket and he had the paperwork. That is exactly what needs to be done. And that's what Doug Collins did in this exchange with Patricia Kime of military.com.
But one of the issues that we're having is, and it's something here, I need your help on something. I need your help because all I seem to be doing lately is fighting back against innuendo and rumor stories. And this is what I seem to be fighting about all the time. In fact, Patricia, part of it is with you.
I'm sure.
And I just need your help because when you start headlines with there's a rumor going around and that we've heard that hurts my veterans. That scares my veterans. That scares my employees because it's not true. Will you commit to not doing that in the future?
Well, there was a DOJ representative that day.
I have a VA employee who is our DOJ liaison. You knew that and you could ask that question.
I did ask that
But
question.
when you got the answer. But my question here is, I need you to commit to not starting off rumors began circulating.
I mean,
well, if it's either true or false, Patricia, and then you go to Patty Murphy, saying that we've heard and we have DOJ may have barged into the VA today. Unconfirmed hearsay. You know what you'd have done if I was a member of Congress and probably done that? Unconfirmed report. But you didn't put unconfirmed report. Right. So, Patricia, I want to work together with you.
Okay.
But I need you to commit to me that you're not going to do this.
I'm working on it, and I have been oh, actually, I have another question.
I loved every bit of this. And you see her there squirming because she knows that she lied. She knows that she put a false report out there. And he laid it out for her. You're harming individuals. The people you claim to help, you are hurting them. And she had nothing. She was embarrassed by this. And she's stumbling over because he's got her dead to rights.
Based on that, thank you very much.
No, I want to hear the answer first. Are you committing not to do rumors? Because you're scaring my VA employees about this.
That's fair.
And you're scaring my veterans.
Yeah,
That's unforgivable. That's not something I
But
take
if
lightly.
a rumor is different than if I have a source.
Then you source it to our PR people and let them know. Because you know something, I've got people who are reporting stuff right now who aren't even calling us. They don't even get something from. They don't even call us to check it.
Well, that's not right.
Well, this isn't right either.
Damn it, I love this. I was so excited when I saw it. I watched it 3 times. It was so good. If you want to see it, you got to go online. Just look at Doug Collins talking to military.com's Patricia Keim so you can check it out yourself. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842 if you want to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. Let's go to Adam in East Hartford. How we doing, Adam?
Good. I'm actually walking on Burnside Avenue in East Hartford right now by the CVS. I bought a banana from that Citgo station.
Oh, okay.
Whatever it is. But what I called about, though, I got to thinking about, Doge and some of the cuts. The only reason I hope they don't go too crazy, when I grew up in the projects of Holyoke, all right, I had 4 brothers. I have 4 brothers. There were 5 boys. My late parents were raising us.
Yeah.
And times were hard. And my dad had a lot of stress trying to raise 5 boys and was the only working income. And so we got some help from the USDA where we'd get the boxes of food that you mix with the milk or whatever.
Sure. Government cheese, man.
Right. Well, I can understand, not giving SNAP to the Hartford street junkie that doesn't work. He's able-bodied and he sells drugs on the street. But I just hope Doge doesn't go too fast and really cuts from a lot of needy people, because are food stamps really that expensive?
No, and I think that, again, that's one of the things that we need to recognize is that I think that Doge is not looking at the social safety nets, but what they are trying to do is to get people to do the job of supplying people with a social safety net without the bureaucracy, and in the sense of saying, do we really need 5 people to do the job of 1? It's like if you ever want to watch this in real time, I want you to look up the Postmaster General's congressional hearing, the one where he puts his fingers in his ears when he's being questioned. But during that hearing, somebody's asking him, I can't remember who the senator was or the congressman was, but they had asked him, how is it that the Postal Service loses $1 billion every year, but they keep hiring more people? It's the only part of the government that has to turn a profit, and it loses the same amount and hires more people. So that's obviously, like, what that should be doing is the fact that you're hiring more people is to get that cost down, or you're hiring more people to bloat that infrastructure. And he didn't want to hear it. And that's exactly what we need to do. We need to find out whether or not we've got 5 people doing the job of 1 unnecessarily. We shouldn't be cutting programs. We need to cut the fat. And that's what I'm hoping that I think that's what Doge is doing, even with the Board of Education, which is where all the cuts are happening now.
All right, very good. Hey, I want you to know I did win the bagels in February, and thanks again for that. I already picked up 2 months' worth. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir, and thank you. And as much as I want to, I don't have time for anyone else except for the last but not least caller of the day. So I am going to go with Rich in Windsor Locks. He is our last but not least caller of the day. He will win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months from Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. Rich, what do you wish to say after winning this coveted prize?
Totally awesome, dude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And thank you for listening to the show. I know you don't regularly call.
On the radio. Totally awesome.
Thank you, sir. I know that you don't really call in regularly, but I'm glad that you listen. I hope you enjoy the show.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. I'm going to put you on hold with Roland, and he's going to get all your information to get the bagels for you, okay? And when you do, by the way, lobby for the Reese on the Radio peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you can.
Very good. I will.
You got it, sir. Yeah, I'm still working on it. At least they're considering it. If you haven't heard, Between Rounds is considering giving Reese on the Radio his own sandwich, even if it's for a limited time. That's okay. Do it for the summer. It's a summer sandwich. I don't care what anyone says. The peanut butter and jelly sandwich is a summer sandwich. There are other summer sandwiches. I can't think of one right now. Is the Italian a summer sandwich, Roland? Is that a summer sandwich? I don't know. Are you into hoagies or sandwiches in that way? I think Roland's got he's got the winner online. I always thought, for me, I always thought peanut butter and jelly was a perfect summer sandwich because it's kind of messy, it's gooey, it's peanut butter, it's jelly. Can't go wrong. And those of you, let me say this. I don't know who you are, but we may have to have a discussion for the people who cut the crust off the sandwiches. We may have to have a discussion. Dude, you and I need to. I don't know what that's about. But I'm kind of weird in that way too, because I don't like, as my wife calls it, cooked bread. I don't like toasted bread. It just never have. It's abrasive. It's like sandpaper, even if it tastes good. It's why I don't like grilled cheese as much as grilled cheese is the best sandwich in the world as far as something being toasted. It's the perfect sandwich. You can't go wrong with a grilled cheese, but I still don't like the hard bread. I would sooner eat a untoasted cheese sandwich than have a melted grilled cheese. I just would. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, that's our show for today, folks. We'll be back. Oh, I promised I would get into that story about the Harvard schools. I promise I'll do it tomorrow. Stick around for that. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. So, Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good day. Pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here on Thursday. Make sure you're here 3:05 so you can get the program. Jason Catarina is going to get you home with checking the weather. And Mark Christopher, of course, has got your ride home in the BPS Traffic Center. I cannot believe I forgot what that was. Good night, Mark.
Reese, have a great night. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the eastbound side of I-84, look for some slow traffic, 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84, it's looking good now. Vernon right out into Farmington. Both sides of 91, no issues. Cromwell to Windsor locks. 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbounds in great shape. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. Westbound 84.
Yo.
All right, boss man.
Yeah, dudes like the chat, man. I got the scram, bro.
They're excited, man. They're excited. It's a big deal to them. I appreciate you, bro. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You as well, sir.
All right, bye-bye. All right, everybody. Polly, let me see. Toasted tomato sandwich with butter, mayo, pepper is a summer one. Homegrown tomatoes. I'm going to have to write that down. I love everything you just mentioned there. I actually like. Toasted tomatoes, yeah, with butter. Well, maybe not so much the butter, but I like the mayo and the peppers. All of that stuff I kind of like. Yeah, you're right, Michael A. It did fly by. It felt like that. Yes, Lori, see you in 21. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. You guys were fantastic today. I love you. I will see you mañana. Be good to each other.